I stood and looked down. You know I lost a lot of friends there, baby. I got no time to mess around. So if you want it, got to bleed, boy, baby. Yeah, got to bleed, baby. You got to bleed, baby. Ha, got to bleed, baby. Ain't talking about love. The love is running to the core. Ain't talking about love. Just like I told you before. Ain't talking about love. Don't wanna talk about love. Don't need to talk about love. Ain't gonna talk about love. No more.
Recorded in the pits of Detroit, Michigan. Your ass is listening to Radio Underground. Shit.
Radio Underground, episode 74. Rest in peace to the most probably influential guitar player of my lifetime.
Kobe Bryant.
Yep, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Al, Brian, Jay, we're Radio Underground. And,
Edward Van Halen passed away.
Edward Van Halen.
And I like we were talking about, he got diagnosed with cancer so long ago. It seemed like I remember thinking he was just healthy and beat it. But I haven't been following anything to do with him for the last year or two.
No.
Other than like how we were talking to Jay, that Tool concert where he took a picture of the fan. Yeah. They had no idea that it was him.
Yeah. That's all. That shit's always funny when like the younger generation has no idea. If you don't know like who like maybe like I don't know some random like David Schwimmer is or something, but if you don't know like the best guitar player ever on the planet Earth.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or you don't like the guitar player for the Bullet Boys or something.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh my God, that was Tie Me Down.
How did you not know who
Steelheart, come on.
But you brought up a good point just before we went on about did they know? Like we knew, none of us knew because we're not part of the Van Halen family.
Yeah.
But so it was a surprise to all of this. You're not a Van Halen?
I'm not a Van Halen.
But how long did he know that it was basically the end? Because they were going to a lot of different shows, him and his Wolfie, as they call him, Wolfgang.
Yeah.
So maybe they knew, and it was kind of like for him just a finish.
And that's really all that matters is you really just want your friends and family to know. Like it would almost seemed disingenuous from someone like him to come on and be like, just want everybody to know I have cancer and I'm dying. Could be any day now, so send all your tweets and everything to me. Like
Well, yeah, and like I said, one of the first articles I read, it said that it spread to his brain. Yeah, and that could have been months ago. It could have been a year ago. There's no telling. I mean, there's a guy I work with was telling me that one of his best friends was diagnosed with cancer and it spread to his brain, and they treated him, and he lived 8 years while they were treating him for those 8 years.
To his brain, really.
Some people it doesn't hit the right spot, or it
Yeah,
spreads
right,
slow enough
right.
where they're
and
okay.
then and then he said, yeah, like the last like 6 months, man, he just like had no cognitive skills, no anything left, man, but he still was going.
The thing I heard about was David Lee Roth, of all people. He kept it respectful. He didn't like explain what exactly it was, but he said his Vegas residency, he said, this is the closest thing you're going to get to Van Halen probably from now on. And he didn't mean that in retrospect, people are talking about it, that he didn't mean it in his normal David Lee Roth way. He meant literally like, it's not it's not going to
happen because death.
Yeah, he didn't say it. He was respectful about it, but that's now we know what he meant.
I mean, I've read stuff from his wife, from his kid, from like David Lee Roth, from pretty much everybody except for his brother. His brother hasn't.
He finally wrote something like yesterday, the day before.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I saw a picture of like, I don't know how recent it was, but Eddie's face was super round and bloated.
Yeah,
so, they load you up with steroids and everything else to keep you alive.
Happy birthday to David Lee Roth today.
Yeah, by the way.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
I just always wonder about, I'm always like interested about that when like if someone of like that notoriety is passing on, how far in advance they know it's the not to the exact day, no one knows, but I'm saying like ballpark, like if David or Eddie Van Halen found out he had like months to live, obviously but it seems like people like Sammy Hagar they were surprised by this.
Yeah,
not that they're necessarily like even close anymore, but dude was in a band with them for what, like fucking 20 years or something.
Sammy and him, I guess, they quietly behind the scenes patched things up. Yeah, they were talking, and they were Sammy said, we didn't talk about it publicly because we didn't want a bunch of people rushing us. Is there going to be a tour or a reunion? He goes, we just wanted it to just be like, hey, I forgive you, you forgive me. And
and I think that was a while ago when they did that too.
Yeah, it was.
We actually talked about this a couple weeks ago. I was on here because I was saying how there was one point where David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar both wanted to do a Van Halen reunion tour with both of them, and they wanted to each do their set of music with the band. Like maybe an hour each of them. And I'm like, that would have been fucking cool.
Yeah.
And wasn't it last week when you weren't here? We talked about how Alex was like the bully.
Yeah, we did.
Alex Van Halen was like the bully of the group.
Yeah,
was that the same time?
He beat people
up.
We
were talking about like he was the one that like that was like he was an asshole to Michael Anthony.
Yeah.
But you know what? That
he's short and fat. I mean, come on.
It kind of pissed me off the other 2 days ago. I read something from their manager that said, "Oh, we were in touch with Michael Anthony. We were actually going to do a reunion with him." I'm like, "You're a fucking liar. You waited till you're a fucking liar." They never had any intention of getting back with him. Just like they never had any intention of it.
That stupid Jack Daniels bass that he had.
Dude. All right, so I got this kid on Instagram. He's a bass player, and he's like, "Here's my tribute to Eddie Van Halen." He plays the bass line to "Running with the Devil."
Very complicated.
I don't think there's any. I watched him play it and then played it. Like I watched him play it once and then went, "Well, that was hard."
No, you were just watching the beginning of Little Nicky.
So it's like
slide.
It's Running with the Devil, and then Tommy the Cat by Primus, Neck and Neck.
Same
Very
complicated.
He just like slides it like 3 frets. Boom, 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 boom. Like
it's not. Yeah.
But to be fair, you don't need to be a great bass player because Eddie and Alex are so good.
You just got rhythm.
Just ride with that freaking kick drum.
Yep.
Just fucking root notes, and that's all you got to do.
I would argue that stupid fucking Jack Daniels bass is the second dumbest stringed instrument after that 7-neck guitar from Cheap Trick. That is the stupidest fucking thing ever.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's so dumb. Or actually, even like the double neck guitars, I get it, but it never looks cool. Yeah. Except when fucking Coheed and Cambria, when Claudio does it, and he just plays the whole song and then does one guitar squeal on the other neck, and that's it.
It's worth it.
My favorite double neck guitar is the one from Pick of Destiny, where it's the chick's ass, and then the legs going up, and it's like a crotch.
Yeah.
That's only good.
I like the Steve Vai.
Yeah.
That's not gimmicky or anything.
Not at all.
No.
So-
I mean, like really, like the one who used it the most was Rick Emmett from Triumph. He used it all. He had a 12-string and a 6-string. So he was the only guitar player in the band, but he used it all the time.
I stand corrected. The dumbest instrument is fucking Jackal, that chainsaw guitar.
Hey, now.
Jesse James Dupree or whatever.
That makes sense, though.
Did you ever see when Tom Green switched over to a fucking internet show instead of doing anything on like cable, and he had Jesse James Dupree and Jackal on there, and he sawed Tom Green's desk? First of all, what did Tom Green make a career out of? Fucking with people.
Yeah, and then he acted like a bitch about it.
He was such a bitch about it. He was so butthurt about his desk being sawed.
The only thing I can think of is that Tom Green was fucking being like that was his troll, like acting like he cared, like acting like he was aggravated. That's the only thing I can think of. It's the only way he could have outshined the situation.
He seemed so genuinely butthurt, and then he was supposed to, I guess, play drums while Jackal played like a song. He's like, "All right, let's play your stupid fucking song now." Like,
Morgan is getting. Hey, Morgan. Hey, Aaron. How you guys doing?
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's up, guys? Oh, hey.
Aaron sucks at gaming, and
he's the simp of gaming.
I won't say the rest of it.
I want to go back to Eddie Van Halen because that's what the show is all about. All 3 hours.
3 hours of
all Van Halen.
Well, all Van Halen.
Yeah, I mean,
is because you always hear about they were raised until they're 8 or 9 in the Netherlands, and they're Dutch and everything.
Yeah,
but they're also Indonesian.
Yeah,
their mom was Indonesian.
I had no idea
so
about
they're
that.
Asian, basically, or Micronesia or whatever.
I saw his mom. I'm like,
and they were
had no
horribly
idea.
picked on. Like when they lived in the Netherlands, they
you can tell as Eddie got older though that he
that's what I
started
was
looking
gonna say.
like an old karate master.
That's why I kind of wondered if it was the steroids or if it was the old age. And
I thought they
Asian.
were. I thought they were just two white guys.
No,
here's the thing with Alex. I always thought he looked stoned all the time.
Yeah,
but I think it was just his eyes were like
Asian.
that.
Yeah,
but he was stoned all the time.
You said that. I didn't say that.
And what's his name? The kid Wolfgang showed a picture with their mom, his grandma. And I was like, holy crap, she looks like an old Asian lady because she's Indonesian, but I guess they got really bad. Like when they moved to America, the school they went to, this is according to David Lee Roth. So I'll take it.
Where did they move to in America?
Pasadena
to start. Okay.
And it was like, well, their school is still segregated. I'm like, I don't think it was in Pasadena. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But he's like, it was, and they lumped them in with the black students. So all the white kids would pick on them, and all the black people would help defend him. This is according to David Lee Roth.
So instant street cred is what you're saying.
They instantly got street cred.
I don't think there was much of a segregation issue in California.
That's where that's why I kind of took. No, it was 62. It was 1962 when they got here.
I mean, it's not exactly like Mississippi.
No.
Yeah, even 1962. I mean, California,
the South was desegregated the schools in 64.
I'm not saying they weren't fucked with because that always happens to anyone that's for any number of reasons. And if you look different, that's certainly one.
Could you imagine you're some guy and you look back in time, you're like, I used to fucking bully the shit out of Eddie Van Halen when I was a kid.
Yeah.
He got the idea for that striped guitar from all the stripes across it. Whipped him.
I beat his ass.
Whipped.
Yeah.
My hand. Not an actual whip. I didn't mean that like a slave thing.
After the racial
damn it.
Yeah.
Well, Eminem got
again. They're saying this, not me this week. It's them. I'm not drinking.
Eminem got picked on by a guy who wrote a song about him and got sued by him.
The guy went to. You went to school with him.
Well, we went to school with his brother.
I went to school with the guy, and people were like, "Yeah, I can't believe he wrote that song." I heard people saying, "Oh, yeah, he's going to sue him for." I go, "He shouldn't get a dime. He was an asshole. He did treat him. He was mean.
He was mean reports.
He was mean to tons of people.
Is that
he was
Stan? Are you talking about Stan?
No,
I'm
no.
Dear,
no, I won't say his name. But
because when Eminem went to an elementary school here in our city,
I know which one he went to.
Yeah, and
this
guy who was a black gentleman picked on him. Well, we went to school with his younger brother.
Yeah,
this guy's.
His younger brother was always really nice to me.
I thought he was cool.
I got along with
him.
Like
our final year in school, he was there, and he's like going on 20.
Well,
he stuck around quite a while.
The one who picked on Eminem, I mean, he was fine. He was cool with me, but I saw how he was a bully. He was mean to people. He was an asshole.
Well, if you don't toughen people up,
right.
They never.
Hey, you think about it. If he wouldn't have did what he did, Eminem wouldn't be where he is today.
Yeah, right.
Where is he today?
I just remember I thought it was funny that he tried to sue him. I'm like, he didn't get anything out of it.
But
the judge was like, get the fuck out of here.
The irony of the bullying thing, though, the Van Halen brothers, like you don't want to talk ill of the past, but they weren't exactly polite to people about like music. I guess I listened to old interviews of Eddie, and he was kind of down talking Randy Rhoads. I taught him, he learned that from me, he stole this from me, and it was like, dude, that's pretty bold. Because at that time, Randy
just passed.
wasn't with us.
Randy was dead. Yeah.
So now they're finally having their final duel.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
right.
Yeah.
All right, it's time, Eddie.
Well, yeah, like
waiting.
I saw like an interview. They were doing like a meet and greet or something. I don't know. Somebody asked him a question. He's like, who, anybody living or dead, if you could play with anybody, who would you want to play with once,
Music
or again, play music. And he said, he goes, oh, that's a tough question. And then he said, my dad.
Yeah, because her dad was a musician.
He was a clarinet player.
Yeah, he played on one or two of their albums.
His name's Stan Van Halen.
Jan.
Jan.
Jan. It was Jan.
Well, actually, it's where Eddie started learning piano was from his dad too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, yeah, that was he understood classical music, but he never got real far at learning how to read music.
No, Eddie admits he could never. He said he went to a teacher every day for like years.
Yeah.
And then when the teacher said the teacher finally figured out that he couldn't read it.
Yeah.
Just turn the page when I get to the new part, and he didn't know. He's like looking at him like, he's like, you can't read music. He goes, you've learned everything I taught you by ear. He's like, yeah. He goes, well, in one hand that's bad, but man, that's really good too.
Yeah,
right.
right.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
I can't. He said even tabs. He goes, tabs were a new thing. He goes, I didn't even get tabs.
I'm gonna make that my new
understand.
catchphrase. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here. Banging all women, none are safe.
No, my new tagline is gonna be, Mr. Justice, I'm sorry we wasted your motherfucking time.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Sorry we wasted your fucking
Your
time.
motherfucking time, like the judge said to you.
Motherfucking
What
time.
happened?
That was a judge story he told last week.
Last week he was telling about this.
When I drink, I tend to embellish
He
stories.
was talking about this ticket he got
In Washington
and he was
County.
like- he goes, yeah, I go in there. The judge was like, Mr. Justice, I'm sorry we wasted your motherfucking time.
I'm sick of these motherfucking snakes in this motherfucking courtroom.
He saw me. He's like, "White boy, get up here." I was like, "Yes, sir."
Why are you making Washington County sound like Compton?
This was a black judge.
It was
though.
a black judge, and he did have a certain amount of flamboyance to him.
Yeah.
Kind of like what was it? He reminded me of that judge.
Liberace.
Who's the not Joe Brown, the other black judge.
Greg Mathis.
Joe Black.
Mathis. Yeah, he was
Judge
like
Greg Mathis.
He's from here, right?
Yeah.
Is it Mathis?
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of him.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Praying,
he was
praying Mathis.
He was like,
Yeah, Greg
he was
praying
like,
Mathis.
Mr. Justice, I'm sorry we wasted your motherfucking time.
I just listened to that part of the show the other
Yeah,
day.
he didn't say motherfucking. He did say we wasted your time though.
And then some Asian lady was praying to Mecca or something. I remember.
She did the,
Yeah, she was praying.
That's true too. She got caught stealing eggs. And the funny thing is, everybody that went up there, like you want to talk about a stereotype, most like 80% of the women went up there cried.
Yeah.
Like 80% of them.
yeah.
Like, and all the dudes like this one. Another funny one's this kid. He punched another kid out, and then his lawyer and his guidance counselor, he's a good kid, it was just a bad situation. And the stupid kid at the end, after he got his sentence like lightened, he goes, well, it was for a good reason. And the judge's like, don't say that. It's like, don't say that. He's like,
Shut up.
after everybody talked about what a good kid he was, and it was a one-time thing, it was for a good reason. Like, oh,
Has our system evolved at all? Because like I'm not a big troublemaker, so
Yeah.
I've only fought a ticket one time. Is that still the procedure? Like you get a ticket, and then if you don't feel like you were justified getting it, you go to court still.
Yeah, most of the time you end up paying the fine, and they
now you
used
can
to
do it
knock
on
off.
Zoom, which is better.
Now they used to knock off point. Back then they used to knock off
Well,
points.
here's what the thing
No, I
that
don't
got me.
think
I had a ticket put on my vehicle.
Yeah.
Or no, it was actually it was put on my vehicle for a license plate and vehicle that was not mine, but it was my name on the ticket. So I had to fucking call Troy at the time. I didn't work in Troy at the time. And they're like, well, you still have to come in and fight the ticket. I'm like, but the license plate on this ticket and the car is not my car, but somehow my name is on it. So somebody transposed a number or some shit differently. I had to sit there for 2 hours, and then they finally called my name. It's like, they ask, why are you here? I'm like, because I don't drive this vehicle that's on ticket. And somebody else like, all right, you're free to go.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Mike was all there day for his.
Well, yeah.
I got charged with a misdemeanor, not a traffic offense.
Oh, that's true.
So I had to sit there. It wasn't a misdemeanor like 5150,
In misdemeanor court.
Speaking of 5150, Eddie Van Halen died.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some bozo-ass cop wrote wrong information down by probably like a number or something with a wrong vehicle, and then I got to sit there in court for 2 hours just to say I don't drive this vehicle.
As growing my whole life, people have always talked about the American justice system is obviously flawed, but it's the best in the world. Well, the fact is it's not. But the fact is, you have to, if something happens, you have to defend yourself. That's, so you
With lethal force.
Karate, yeah.
Yep.
You get your day in court.
You go to Koala Kai.
Qualify.
And the court-appointed lawyer is always just the biggest fucking putz.
Oh, my God.
Just a drunk.
My God.
All right. So, I got like something once. I thought it was going to be a minor thing, and then I'm standing in court, and she's talking about putting me in jail, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I need an attorney. Like, I just blurt out, I go, I don't have an attorney.
They just pulled some dude out of a closet that was
She goes, okay, well, I'm going to let you have some, because I thought she was going to put me in jail that day. So she goes, all right, well, you're going to have some time to, I go, well, she goes, do you need a court appointed? One will be provided. I'm like, yeah. And this lady, so I didn't meet her that day. So then I come back, like, it was like a week later, I come back to do like an arraignment type thing. She comes out and her hair is just like crazy. Like this crazy like English teacher we had in high school.
Emerson.
Yeah.
It's Emerson.
It was, and she's like got literally. It just reminded me of like a really bad comedy. Like she's got all these files and shit's falling out. I mean, it was really.
But then you take down her hair and take off her glasses and unbutton her shirt a little bit. She's smoking hot.
Oh no! It was not that
I don't
good
like this
at all.
movie.
But she comes up. She's like, "Yeah, I'm your attorney." I go, "Oh well, I found an attorney. They didn't tell me I had." She goes, "Oh well, we'll just go in front of them and tell them that you found an attorney." And so then the judge is like, "All right, so last week you said you need an attorney. We give you one." And now you say you found one. I'm like, yeah, it just kind of came up. Somebody I know, their dad's an attorney. And I fucking lied through my teeth. But I had to go get one.
You're not supposed to lie when you put your hand in that Bible.
I had to go get an attorney because I didn't want this woman defending me. I was like freaked out because I'm like, I'm going to end up in jail because of her.
I'm not well
She's scatterbrained and everything. She's probably a legal genius, and that's not a joke.
Like, I'm not well versed in our court system, but every time I think of a court-appointed attorney, I think about my cousin Vinny, the first guy they get with like the glasses, just all like a nervous
having a panic attack up there.
Yeah, like that guy, and they're both just like, what the fuck? Like looking at that guy.
Yeah, True, you sit down with him and he's like, "Well, this
is a sore subject for Aaron. Bad lawyers."
It's like you sit down with him and you're like, "Oh, it's I'm not really a criminal attorney. I'm just kind of like a
I handle tax law.
I'm like a probate attorney or something,
So when you get the court-appointed attorney that's provided for you, you still pay for that?
It depends.
Okay.
If you have money, yes.
Well, that's how anything works.
If you have a job,
eventually you'll pay for it because you pay taxes to the man.
If you have a job, and they know you have to, they ask you all the questions, and if you have a job, you have to make some kind of payment. They'll base it off like if you make $150 a week.
I had one till I was arrested, and now I'm in court.
Morgan, women isn't.
Morgan, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's me.
I mean, you do got to line them up every now and then, but
But I did
not a full on beating.
I had another funny one in the city of Warren. I'm sitting in court, and this is like my 7th or 8th driving unsuspended. It was right around there. It was pretty much my second from last one. So I go in, and this guy's in front of me, and the judge is like, "So you working?" And he goes, Yeah. I'm working part-time, man. Yeah, I'm working like 15 to 25 hours a week. He goes, all right. And he lets him off with like this fine. He goes, make sure you pay that fine. I don't want to put you in jail again. So he leaves, and I'm like, oh, cool. He's in a good mood. So he calls me up right afterward, and I get up there.
Farted.
I get up there, and he goes, says my name, and he goes, give me one good reason why I shouldn't put you in jail today. And I'm like, I have a job full time. And I'm like,
I don't know 80s movie Psycho. Why shouldn't you?
You just did this, like show him some tricks and stuff.
And he goes, it was my seventh. He goes, this is your seventh offense driving unsuspended. Why shouldn't I put you in county jail for a year? He goes, I could do that right now.
It's
and I'm like,
number.
he's like, you better have a lot of money. And he like hammered me with a maximum fine. It was like $1,200, and it was horrible, but I ended up not going to jail.
That's the good part.
But yeah,
Staying out of jail sounds like a pretty good idea usually.
It's good.
So then
good
I'm
life
like,
plan.
all right, no
Good
more
life plan.
driving on suspendeds, no more driving on suspended. So I went and got all my shit legit at that point, but they never put it in the system, and I got pulled over for driving on suspended like a year later.
So wait, do you know at that point that your license is suspended or no?
Oh, I knew.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't have a license for like 7 years, dude.
Oh, okay.
6 years, something like that. Oh yeah. I had it. I had my vehicles and other.
I'm trying to ask
names.
like honest questions that I don't know without making it sound like I'm like, what's up, jerk off? Like,
Oh yeah, I had I'd get girlfriends to put my cars in their names and stuff.
But that was Warren, right?
Yeah.
So I got a ticket in Warren for speeding. Paid it. Went in and paid it. Didn't fight it. I just paid it. Had a receipt and everything
What was it for?
for speeding.
Oh, just for seating?
Yeah, I was like 10 over. Like I was going like Van Dyke right there was like 35. I was going 45, and a cop busted me. Paid it, and then like it was like a year later, driving down 8 Mile, going on a delivery out to Livonia, just straight down 8 Mile, and you come over 75, just before you get to John R. There's always a Hazel Park cop hanging there.
You mean where I got my
Where you got it? I got pulled over.
DUI?
Yeah, I got pulled over the same spot, just past John R.
Yep. Did you pull over in that building?
There's a place that says, and that's not Fine China. It says like Rhine China or something like that.
That's where, yeah. You can just coast off.
Yeah, and he's like, well, you were doing 15 over. I'm gonna get you for 10, but this says you have a suspended license. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, you got a suspended license. I could take you in right now. I'm like, I don't have a suspended license. It's like, it says City of Warren, unpaid. I'm like, are you fucking joking? So I had to go to the City of Warren, show them that I paid because I had the receipt. I always kept the receipts because
of me.
he had so many issues when he paid stuff, and they were like, oh, he says you didn't pay, and he always kept his fucking receipts.
Oh, wait, again, so you actually...
I actually paid it.
No, but you actually get a receipt when you pay a ticket?
Yeah,
If you go in, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't pay it online and stuff. But yeah, it used to be when you went in, just give you a receipt. Like
I'm not trying to sound so naive. I really just don't know any of this stuff.
No.
Yeah.
I've
is
never
forever. This is
paid I've never paid
13
anything
years ago.
online, but apparently you'd probably just get a confirmation.
Even
on that, I'm
online,
guessing.
you can get a receipt and you just print it up.
Yeah.
But so I had to go to the City of Warren and talk with them. I'm like, look, this says I don't have a license. Like, yeah, you didn't pay this fine. I'm like, here's the receipt. I did pay it. They're like, oh, something must have happened. I'm like, oh, so
we were just talking about this last.
This
weekend.
last week, but I didn't bring it up last week.
Yeah.
That
And then I had to go to
shit's
Hazel
so
Park.
annoying, man.
And the ticket that I actually got for speeding again, and they're like, well, why were you driving without a license? I'm like, I didn't know I didn't have a license because I paid the fine. They say I didn't pay.
And I do have a license. It's right here in my fucking wallet.
Yep.
You fucking
Oh,
moron.
I got a license right here. Fuck you.
Oh, that'd be a good one. Got him.
Yeah, got him. Got you, Hazel Park.
Also, another thing, is there anything more chicken shit than those fucking tunnels on 696 by Oak Park and Southfield? You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about? That you go underground?
Yep.
That the fucking state troopers hang out on the inside fucking lane with no fucking lights on.
And then the lights are off on the wall.
And then the lights are off on the wall. So first of all, it's a fucking hazard because someone, when you round that corner, you should be in your lane. But if you're hugging the side lane, you're going to hit the fucking cop car.
Yeah, that's like a 45-degree turn
Yeah.
right there.
Second of all, just make your presence known and people will slow the fuck down.
Do you guys know why those tunnels are there?
because there's a park above one of them. I know that.
They had to when they dug out 696, the Jewish community basically, it was in court forever. They wanted not the regular Jewish, the Hasidic ones.
Yeah.
They have to do some sort of, with their belief on a certain Sabbath on their day, whatever, I think Sunday. I don't know what their
Friday.
So
I
they
thought Saturday,
have to walk.
honestly.
They have to walk.
Yep.
There's a certain ritual where they got to walk a certain way. And when they built it out, they said you can't build it there because it's on our walking path to our synagogue.
Yeah. On Fridays, they can't do it. They can't get it. They're not allowed to
because like the bakeries over there, they're closed on Saturdays because of that.
So they basically
It starts Friday night at like.
There was no need
dusk.
there was no need to build those huge tunnels like that for the for the road.
It was for the
them.
above.
It's for the Jews.
Yeah,
people
one of
on
them's
the
a park
surface.
above that. I know the one's a park, an oak park above. Yeah,
And then the other one is like a street and then something else. And
but dude, I drive.
See, if they would have denied them, all our firstborn children would have been killed by some sort of
He said it.
cosmic event.
the plagues,
said it.
all the plagues
Not
of
me.
Egypt. I've been like Emotep was back.
you
again.
know,
So we had to do it. We had no choice.
Here's the thing, like if
Locusts.
that's where the cops hanging out, that's entrapment.
it's bullshit because it's fucking unsafe. Because what's happened
It's-
is like
well, yeah.
I'm not even going. I'm going probably 5 miles under when I'm there, and I'm rounding that turn, and all of a sudden I'm seeing a car because my lights shine off a car, like off the.
Why don't you
back
slow
down?
down, Jay? You
That's-
don't think
I'm
about
under
that?
it. And I'm like,
Slow down.
what the fuck, dude? Like,
That's the kind of shit that like you're try to fucking video that shit because I don't think that they can just do it because entrapment's a real thing. You can get cops in trouble for it.
Well, isn't entrapment though using an attractive female cop to get a John? That to me, that's entrapment.
Yeah, that well,
That you're like creating the crime to get.
I don't
catch
even
people.
know if it's anything officially wrong they're doing other
I
than
agree
it's
with
just
that,
chicken
too.
shit bullshit. Like,
Well, they do it on 696 further on. If you're going in the mornings, like when it's still dark out, 6 o'clock in the morning, there's like when you're coming from Gratiot, going past Groesbeck, and it's hilly right there. You come over one hill between Groesbeck and Bunnert.
yep.
None of the streetlights are on in the middle of the freeway.
Yep.
From Groesbeck all the way to Hoover, 2 miles. None of the streetlights are on in the middle. And that state trooper will sit right there on the inside lane there too.
But here's
so you
the
come
other
over the
thing, too.
hill.
and there isn't shit for an inside lane there. Either.
No,
So the whole point
that's like
of-
Mike's couch wide. That's it.
The whole
Yep.
point of traffic police is the whole point.
Money.
Not what really happens.
It's money.
But it's like, okay, the written point originally is for safety to make your presence known so people slow down. Have you driven in Ohio? There's cops fucking everywhere and no one speeds because there's cops fucking everywhere and they're visibly there. So you don't fucking drive fast.
The cops are so bad there because it's a cut through state.
Yeah.
You have to go there to get from Chicago to New York or
And-
Michigan. Our troopers can be bad, but we're not. You don't have to go to Michigan through Michigan to get to anywhere. We're a peninsula.
Just
Yeah,
the
but they
UP.
really have like when we went to that Hocking Hills, they have safety corridors where like people are getting nabbed for going like a half a mile like over.
Now tell me.
yeah,
I've brought this up on the show and in talks with everybody multiple times in the last 2 decades, but on US 23 in Ohio, near Chillicothe, there's a sign that
By
says
what?
near Chillicothe.
I don't know what that is.
It's a town.
Oh, they said
do
chili
they give you a
coffee.
percentage?
Chillicothe.
Okay, got you. now.
TH. Coffee.
Chillicothe.
Anyways, there's a sign that says speed reduced by 10% 1 mile ahead. But there's no speed limit signs for 5 miles leading up
Right.
to it.
So you gotta know the
don't know what the
math.
speed limit is, and then you have to guess what how much that is on a percent.
And then you're
Yeah.
doing some Lewis Black math.
Like the first time I went down to Kentucky with him, I saw that sign. I'm like, what the fuck is that shit? That is straight up Ohio. What's the town that was the most crooked town? It was Findlay, right?
Fostoria.
Fostoria.
No, Fostoria in the 1960s, the town of Fostoria, Ohio. My uncles told me the story. They were hiding stop signs behind trees, like getting out of towners. And back then there was no internet and everything, so that you'd have to pay then and there, or you couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That's how nothing but trouble is.
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
The FBI went in and busted the town. The feds had to go in and break it up.
Dude, that's,
and at that
that's
point,
like-
US 23 wasn't an expressway. It was just a road that went through every one of these fucking towns.
when you get closer to Columbus, it stops being expressway for a minute. It's literally like when you go on
It's
like
a street.
when you're on like the Van Dyke Expressway, it kind of ends by the cider mill.
yeah.
It kind of turns into whatever. That's like a
you
county
got to
road.
take 70 around Columbus.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
But that safety
that's like
corridor.
Dukes of
Then
Hazzard
it
shit,
spits you out
man.
by the Scioto Downs.
Scioto Downs.
Dude, that shit that like Roscoe P. Coltrane used to do, he'd fucking all of a sudden a stop sign would just like lift up. Bloop, and
Road
oh,
closed.
you missed the road.
Gotta
You missed
stop
it.
that shit.
But that like
You Dukes.
that safety corridor that we saw, it's like 15 miles between Columbus and Hocking Hills.
Yeah.
And I never seen that before. And then when I was like, it's very clear, like slow the fuck down. Seriously, this is the speed limit. Don't fucking go over it. So I'm like, okay, I'm out of state already. I'm like a red flag.
Yep.
So I'm like, I seriously go the speed limit. I seen within the first 2 miles on it, like 6 people pulled over. And then when we got to like later on in the day, I think we were at like a bar or something. I'm like on my phone, just fucking around. Like I never heard of a safety corridor. Turns out there were so many goddamn fatalities in that stretch of road from people speeding that they just had to do something. And now there's none. So,
I mean, I get it. I get traffic cops and traffic police
Just scrape them off the road and keep things going.
That's what
Or-
I'm saying, man. Screw it.
for what the original purpose was.
It's called
was to
survival of the fittest,
keep
man.
people from breaking along, going too fast, and killing themselves and other people. But it's become just a racket now.
Hey, man.
it-
you
well, ours-
shouldn't be around that maniac the way they're driving.
Well, I had a
if you
I had-
die, it's your fault.
I had a guy road rage on me,
Yeah.
and he's somebody that I don't have the temper I used to have in traffic. I don't scream and get mad like I used to. But this guy, if I ever see him anywhere, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him because I remember his fucking ugly bald head and face. He was going, and I was on Mound Road, just by the Walmart there near 1059.
Yeah.
So we're in between Mound and 19 Mile. He's in an AT&T truck. He works for AT&T, this guy. And he was in front of me going to about 35 and a 50. That's like reckless driving slow. 35
Yeah.
and a 50. I was look, I'm not in a hurry. I'm getting paid. I'm in my work truck. I'm just, right. I finally got sick of going 35, so I went around him in the right lane. I didn't plug up the left lane. He snaps out of his trance and notices that I'm going to pass him. And I'm riding behind him for like a mile waiting for him to pick up the speed.
Yeah.
Because usually people fuck with their phone or whatever, and then they realize it and then they speed up. He didn't do that, so I went to go around him. He fucking sees it, gets mad at me, and doesn't want to let me in the middle lane, which is where I want to be. So I get over, like, not, okay, if you ram in the back of me, that's you ramming me, not me cutting you off. You were going 35. Then he starts doing the whole, like, the flipping me off thing and following me around the act like he's, like, looking at my truck. I rolled the window down. I'm like, you were going 35. He's like, fuck you. I'm like, you were going 35. That's why I went around you. If you were going something resembling the speed limit, I would have not have went around you. You weren't even going close.
15 miles under the speed limit is
Fucking,
insane.
there's nothing that makes me more mad than when people are in the wrong and then they double down and act mad at you. Like when I do stupid moves, I'm human. Like I fuck up, and when I do it, I just put my head down, like, all right,
Just ignore it.
Yeah,
Ignore it. It just goes away.
But some of these people, their tactic is I'm even more right than you think. I'm like,
So I have an opposite story, and this is from today. This is gonna be
missile launcher, kill your fucking AT&T
this is going to be a
truck,
multiple part story, so get ready.
asshole.
Oh shit!
Ooh,
So going down the Van Dyke Expressway, so we're past. We're coming up the Hall Road, actually past Hall Road, and I'm going like 82 in the left lane. So I'm trying to get around people.
So you're speeding. You're
I'm
driving
going with
illegally.
traffic, honestly. It's a Van Dyke Expressway. Everybody flies. So people are just flying. I'm
even
going.
that roundabout where you go from 18 to Van Dyke to Van Dyke,
Yeah.
that roundabout is like the roundabout in European Vacation where if you can't
Yeah.
if you can't
yeah.
get in that
You're going
outside
in
lane,
circles.
you're going in circles because everyone's going so fucking fast there. It's like
I
how it
was
should
past.
be.
I was past that. Well past that. I didn't even have to go through that because the way it came up. But so I'm going 82, and I'm waiting until I get past where the M59 traffic merges onto it, and I'm going to get back into the right lane. But I'm going 82. I'm going 12 miles over the speed limit. And this guy in this Equinox with like teeth on his front grill. It's like chromed out, but it's got like teeth.
Oh, well,
It's
he
annoying.
needs his ass kicked
So
for that alone.
I'm speed up a little bit more, and then I go to get over, and apparently I didn't get over fast enough. 2 seconds to get over is not fast enough. And he's like I'm like over like this, and he's like coming past me as my back end is still in the lane, So I'm like, and then I see his license plate, and it has a Colorado one on the front. So as he's coming next to me, I'm like, fuck you. And he's smoking a joint. I'm like, you son of a bitch. And then I'm getting mad. I'm starting to speed up because I'm going to do anything I can
Probably
to block
listening to
him from
Rogan.
doing anything. And while I'm doing that, a motorcycle flies past me at 120 miles an hour. Like, it was so loud. I'm not even joking. I was doing 80. and it was,
Watch for motorcycles, guys. Watch for motorcycles.
that's going to be my next part of my story.
Watch out for bikes.
He was going so fast that it looked like I was standing still. He flew past everybody. And I'm like, oh, my God. That was so fast. And Danny, like, he almost hit our front end, and then he was basically weaving down the middle of the road around people. And I don't know how he didn't clip 3 different cars. And then we get up to like 23 mile, and all of a sudden traffic stopped. I'm like, oh shit, that dude's dead. I immediately thought he was dead. Like he just lost it and he was dead. It was construction, so I didn't get my wish. But we keep going.
You were hoping to come out there and see goo.
So we keep going, and we get up to where
Splat.
so you come back. And the Equinox had taken off, so he was way ahead of me at this point. In my head, I'm like, I'm gonna catch that motherfucker. I'm gonna get him. So I'm doing everything I can to not look like I'm speeding, but I'm speeding so I can eventually catch up to him. And I get up past like where
Is this
the
the
Romeo
new Russell Crowe movie?
No.
yes.
So I end up getting up to where basically going to Romeo, and there's like the covered bridge all over the freeway.
Yep.
Just before the freeway ends, basically.
Yep.
And it turns into one lane. And eventually I got up to the point where I passed the Equinox, and he kept on like trying to get over, and I was like slowing down a little bit and then speeding up a little bit, making sure he can't get over. I'm like, revenge. And then he disappeared. But the motorcycles part, another motorcycle came flying past us. And I'm like, what the hell? So all you motorcycles that say, watch out for motorcyclists, fuck the fuck off. Because twice today, 3 times actually, because one guy was riding people's asses on a fucking motorcycle. He was riding people's asses.
That's not going to end bad.
It was insane. And then also cider mills is my next point. So we're coming back from the cider mill we went to.
All leading up to.
No, this is all leading up to just more traffic stuff.
It's like I had a great donut at the cider mill.
Yeah, I always go to the same one. High Cider Mill, 37 mile west of Van Dyke. Great,
High.
the best HY.
Yeah,
I'm a Blake's fan. Sorry.
I'm telling you, go to Highs. Their donuts are better. Anyways, Blake's, the main one, which is on like Armada Center, like 35 or whatever the fuck it is. So I cut, when we're coming back, I basically cut down that way, and I'm going to go up the Romeo Plank, which is like the last right you can make before you get to the hell that is Blake's on Armada Center. It's so fucking bad at the center. I like cider mills, but how insanely busy does a cider mill need to be before the county or someone comes in and it's like, this is fucking stupid. Yeah. Everybody get the fuck out of here.
Well, October is always their busiest month, too.
Jay, you don't understand. It was backed up down.
Turn people away.
Down the road it's on, which it's Armada Center, right? Mm-hmm. That's the road it's on. So down Armada Center.
34 and a half or something.
It's like 34. I think it's like technically it's 34 and a half out there. Yeah, 35, something like that. So it's backed up. You can see it backed up all the way up to the cider mill, down to the light at Romeo Plank, and then down Romeo Plank all the way to the next mile road.
That's crazy.
People waiting to get in. And then that back way out, there's people coming out of the back way out trying to get out.
Yeah, I won't go this time of year unless it's like a weekday.
That's why Highs is the best. You know how many cars went at Highs today? 80 cars total.
What's the other one? Northview or something that's out that way
Yates.
too?
Yates,
fuck Yates. Yates is, I remember that was the country when I was growing up.
Fuck Yates, because that road to Quinder right there, fuck that.
No,
the road
fuck that
dips
trail
down.
because there's snakes everywhere there.
The trail too, but
that place
it's
is
a one-lane
loaded
road.
with snakes.
It's a one-lane road that's like not even wide enough, and you park on one side, and you have to walk across that road to get to the fucking cider mill. Fuck that shit. Cider mills aren't that exciting, people. Okay.
There's also that trail also ends at a gun range that isn't clearly marked if you go too far off the trail. So you just start hearing gunshots.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that gun range is there, it's probably freaky as fuck because it's loud as hell.
Yates is really bad. The one you're talking about, I know, is cider mills are amazing. You're right. But that's insane that they have so much traffic there that you can't even get down not even near it. Like a mile away from it. We were literally a mile away from it, and I had to take an alternate route to come home.
I just know don't go on a Saturday in October.
Here's
Except
my
for
thing.
Highs.
Okay.
Go to Highs.
So you got Highs, you got Yates, you got Blake's.
Miller.
I mean, you got Miller.
Yeah.
So that's 4 of them.
And then there is an apple picking place, which isn't technically a cider mill, right over there by Romeo or by Almont.
But one off Van Dyke where it kind of ends where that light's at, where it turns into like a 2-lane road. There's like a big hill. I can't think of what it's called right now, but they have like a winery and stuff there too.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that might be Northview. You're right.
It's something like that. It's not far from Blake's.
Westview.
Okay, but
Westview. Yeah,
Westview. That's it.
Westview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a cider mill also.
Yeah.
So this is 5 cider mills, but yet Blake's
has 3 locations,
is
and
like
they're still like that.
Yeah, that's stupid. People are just ignorant.
It was insane, man.
People are just ignorant then.
And
Because,
there's Franklin cider mill too.
I like Franklin. That's a cool place.
There's nothing to do there, but
It's just a cool building and stuff. The way the setup.
And Northville's got a good one too, because they have a hard cider building also. That
you
had some good
guys
beers.
know
Northville.
entirely too much about cider.
No, there's one in.
And I don't have a family.
There's one in South Lyons.
This is all
like
I
Silver
know.
I don't
Orchard
care if
is-
I ever go to a cider mill again.
This is all I know is that
That's
back in
why-
the day, I used to go to either the one or the other. That
White
was it.
3/8,
Was
yep.
it was that was it. And it was me and my buddies, and we would get fucking super stoned, and then we'd go there and we'd get the little mini gallons. We would drink it down, half of it down, fill it with Jack Daniels, and go walking through the fucking woods, and then get some donuts before we left, and we were done.
The Yates place, they used to, you go across the street, to the river, and you had all the dam and all that.
Yeah, you go across
But
the bridge and
some
stuff.
fucking idiot jumped off that bridge they had there and
Yeah.
broke his ankle and almost drowned.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
that
so-
no one can go back there
Yeah, right.
anymore because of fucking one idiot.
That's
Well,
it.
no, it wasn't just that. The bridge burned down, and they were going to rebuild it. And then the people that owned the land further back said, "No, you're not rebuilding that," because they were basically letting the cider mill borrow some of that land, so they couldn't build the bridge again once that guy burned it down.
So-
So you're right. It was a combination of those two things.
Yes, Aaron. If you get an Xbox, I'll play Gears of War with you. I don't have anyone to play Gears with, so I don't play it.
I won't.
But if you guys get it, yes, I'll play it.
Yeah, let's go to a haunted house.
I don't want to go to haunted house.
I don't go to haunted houses.
I got another question about
You-
traffic.
guys
I'm
from
not
the
surviving.
city?
I'm not surviving the game with you guys.
I got one more question about traffic.
Yep.
So I'm a pretty fast driver, also, like you said, like above the speed limit.
I do.
I know what lane to stay in. I pass in the left lane. But when you're in the left lane, the speed limit isn't endless.
No, it's not.
It's not like if I'm going 90.
You can't go infinity.
Yeah, if I'm going 90, I don't need you on my ass. I'm going well above what I need to be going.
Yep.
And I'm specifically talking about 696,
696,
Farmington
yes.
Hills area.
Yes.
See, I don't.
We're doing
I don't
another
make that fun.
Seinfeld episode. Why are they gonna get in the left lane?
But like, sometimes I feel guilty. Like, oh my god, I'm in the wrong lane. I'm like, I'm going 92. Like, what are we doing here?
I don't care.
It
I'm
doesn't
not
matter. There's
moving.
always somebody that you're too slow for. No
I
matter
don't
what.
care. I'm not moving. I do not care.
I think I luck out
if
because-
that's the lane I'm in, and it's because other people are driving too slow in the other lanes. I'm not. You can ride my ass all you want. If I'm doing 20 miles over the speed limit, you can suck it.
Well, I think that's where it's different. Where
I love when I see the idiot break loose, a guy that's driving stupidly and they break loose.
yeah,
I just love. You see that? They do
Oh,
the
yeah.
wobble like, oh yeah, baby, give it to me. Flip, flip.
I barely graduated.
yeah.
He barely
I
graduated.
think he did that on purpose because
Yeah.
he did that to us a few weeks ago.
He
But
also
you go to work at a different time than me because you start work at like 9 o'clock, don't you?
Yeah, usually around 8 or 9.
So you're going at a different time. Like I'm on the road at like 6:30, so traffic is lighter,
Oh yeah.
and you can go a little bit faster, but it's also darker.
You'll just get the cunt when you're driving that
Dude.
is sleeping and has no headlights on because he's just so tired. And you're like,
When I got to go to work, so for me, work is straight shot. 696, you exit at 11 Mile.
Yeah.
You make a right into Quinder. I'm at work.
yeah, you're over by that crash landing place.
No, the crash landing's between 696 and 11 Mile, between 11 Mile and 12 Mile.
but not far from there. Yeah.
The hospital.
One
Yeah.
thing,
There's a hospital. I'm across the street and down. I'm right by Universal. not mall.
One of the main reasons I've stayed where I'm at for 20 years is I don't even need a car to fucking go there.
Yeah.
It's
You
so
can ride a
close.
right.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out because you can't get on 11 Mile, and you've probably seen this because you have to go test and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
11 Mile's tore up.
Yep.
It's one lane going west only, and there's no lanes coming east.
Over by DeQuinder.
Yeah, over by DeQuinder.
Yep.
So you got to go up to the DeQuinder exit, which is the next one up.
Yep.
How come that extra 30 seconds takes me an extra 6 minutes?
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
It's insane. It's literally because it's like it's this exit here, and you go up what? It's 45 seconds up the road
Yeah.
from 11 Mile to DeQuinder. It's nothing.
Yeah.
And because every single day they'll get a traffic the traffic will back up starting at 75 in those first 2 lanes only, not in the second 2 lanes. And then you'll get stuck behind somebody who's only going 55, and you can't go anywhere because the next lane's only going 55.
That hook right there where you're talking about from the DeQuinder exit right before you get onto 75 or like past 75.
Yeah,
That's where there's the most accidents always
Fuck
too.
yeah.
Always
Like always, dude.
has been.
it's all caused by
Always has been.
motorcycles.
And I used to go on
Them
70,
and them alone.
when I worked in Troy, I would get off at 75, obviously from there, and go 75 north. But now that I'm always going to Novi, I just take the left lane.
Yeah.
So I'm always just breezing by, and I'm just always watching cars on fire, cars rear-ended one another, cars flipped over. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
When I was working
it's seriously. It's
I like that all I have to do
is it's like Escape from New York fucking kind of shit going on.
I like that all I have to do. They shut down this road. I can't go west to work. I can just go east. I'm so close. I can go out of my way east to work, and it still only takes me 10 minutes.
Oh, I know. What you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's road over here.
That's like my job too. Same thing. It's like I got 10 minutes.
Got my GED.
Yeah.
I've thought about that so much though, like how much it'd be nice to work closer to home, but like I don't know, we're gonna work at that fucking Dunder Mifflin paper place that's over there by Dragon Meat.
Yeah, American Paper. You should do that.
Every time I drive by that, I just think it looks like fucking Michigan's Dunder Mifflin.
It totally does. 75. Like you said, you would take that to work. I hated that interchange so much. If I going to work in Clawson, I would avoid it. I would get off at 11 Mile, take that across to 75, and then get back on a 75. I hated that 696, 75 interchange so much.
It's actually one of the deadliest intersections in the whole country.
In the country.
There's like eight. There's eight.
What are you
of
talking about?
75 and
696.
696.
It's not even it's not the interchange. It's the curve right there. I find to be where the shit's at. Like
so before you even get to it,
before you even get to 75, that curve by DeQuinder.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
But when you go to get off onto 75, that turn to get onto like southbound 75 is so tight.
Yeah.
And the same thing when you get to the bottom of the one to go northbound, it's also tight. There's always shit there.
Does traffic problems get a lot of listeners?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you're right, Mike. Though it is considered one of the deadliest areas for traffic.
Well, there's eight of them. Like the first 8 are all in LA, and then that one.
Yeah, right.
Like,
what about when you're on 75 M59 exchange? The entrance ramp and the exit ramp are the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
So when you're getting on 75 from 59, the same people are trying to get off.
There's another one.
It's the worst.
There's no fucking lane.
It's so bad. I hate it out there.
A buddy of mine got married like out in Ann Arbor somewhere. And so this was like, I just moved to Utah and I came back for his wedding and I had a little buzz on, but I really wasn't drinking. But there is right where the damn country club that he had his reception at, we got off the freeway, off this like it was like a M23. It was like a smaller route, and we get off and we go there, and it's like it's right there is how you get back on it. And I'm like,
oh yeah, there's no
so all
space.
of a sudden I'm cruising along and my girl's like, you're on the wrong side of the freeway. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God.
You're going the wrong way.
And she was right. But then she realized too, she goes, well, how are we supposed to get on? I go, I have no idea. I had to U-turn. I had to do a U-turn. It's like 2 a.m. I had to do a U-turn and come back around.
It's funny because like people around here will say that we have the worst drivers. And we don't. And I've driven several other cities. I haven't driven LA, I haven't driven New York, but I've driven several other cities. And I realize why people think the driving's so bad here is because the construction never fucking ends here. Yeah. So everyone's always
everybody's so stressed out. So everybody's
so
super aggressive.
Or people that aren't from the area that they're driving. It doesn't have to be out of state. It could be like, you've never been in this area. You just don't know what to do because everything's so butt fucked. Like,
the reason our roads are constantly tore up, it's not anything to do with whoever's in charge, governors or anything like that. We allow double the weight on the trucks in any state.
Yep.
You can fucking haul tanks onto our fucking roads, and it breaks. And our roads are like paper mache after a year.
You go to Indiana, and they always had you could always tell when you cross the border into Indiana because you weren't allowed to have like tandem trucks. Like if you had like a dual trailer, you had to pull it over. In Indiana.
Yeah.
Well, the theory is here, we're not a cut-through state, so they say, well, we shouldn't have as much traffic, just as much trucks go through. Yeah. So they stupidly decided to let them just haul twice what everyone else has.
Well, and also it's weight divided by length or what. There's a formula to it too. So we're allowed to have longer trucks, like you said, the tandems. And at one point they were trying to change it to where instead of having 54 inches of trailer behind your 54 feet of trailer behind your truck, you can get exemptions for 72 feet.
What about when they had 696 closed and they were like redoing the whole thing for the longest time? And then obviously no one could drive in 696 because that direction was closed.
Yeah.
So all those semi trucks were on 12 Mile then.
Yeah.
12 Mile is destroyed now.
Yep.
12 Mile by like Van Dyke, Mound. That road is like the fucking moon.
Oh, I know. I take it home every day.
You look like you could take the piece of the cement and make a giant blizzard with it. It's fucking just fucked up.
But you know, like you were saying, Mike, that they think that like because it's not a cross through state, you know, that we're a peninsula, that we shouldn't. The problem is that we have fucking Canada and we have 2 access points into Canada and we do a lot of movement there too.
And plus, how much manufacturing is done here? And you have stuff shipped in.
All the manufacturing here,
And they're allowed to, and it's what we make here is why we have to have heavier trucks.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Cars
Yep.
used to be tanks and military shit.
Better made potato chips.
Yeah. Yep.
Those don't weigh. Those things float. There's so much fucking air in them.
Going back to
That was the joke.
Yeah, your truck could be packed full and still 500 pounds of
You get hit by
chips,
something,
maybe.
you just kind of like.
going back to the motorcycle thing real quick though.
Yeah,
like,
fuck 'em.
So I got a buddy of mine who's a biker. You know, I haven't seen him in a while, but I posed the question to him. I go, yeah, what? I go, do you got one? He had on his van, he had the sticker. You know, like watch out. And his wife put it on there because he
Watch your
rides
grass
all the time.
clippings. We'll slip in them.
But I go, so like, am I supposed to watch out for you all the time? He goes, no, you know, you should be aware, you know. I go, well, what about the idiots that, you know, use both, you know, that like go right through the middle of 2 lanes in between cars and stuff? And he goes, oh, fuck, dude, that's their fucking problem. If you fucking hit them, sayonara.
Go drive in like San Francisco area where they can legally split lanes. I don't understand how that even works out there. Like it's fucking crazy. Like I haven't driven out there, but I've been in so many cars with Janine's family, and you'll just be sitting in like bumper to bumper traffic in San Francisco, and just motorcycles bumping off the mirrors and shit. Like what the fuck?
I hear the Bay Area is actually the worse traffic than LA because it's all condensed.
It's pretty shitty. I'm not gonna lie.
Bottlenecked as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been out there, but I've been a few places, but
Are they north of the city or south?
North.
I want to go.
sorry, but the worst drivers I've been around are the Utah drivers, man. They're horrible. They're super overcautious. They do these they're called Mormon roadblocks, because like say the speed limit's 45.
it's like the Stasi, but they're Mormons.
say it's like 45 miles an hour.
It's a checkpoint.
And you got 2 lanes going the
Sperm
same way.
checkpoint.
Yeah. So then like the person in the right lane's going under the speed limit, like 35. The idiot in the left lane will just basically do the same speed to stay neck and neck with them. They do it all the time. It's so annoying. And it would be, and my chiropractor, who was very, he was an elder working towards a bishop in the Mormon church. He's the one that told me it was called a Mormon roadblock.
Wow.
Wow.
Was it like just like a pissing contest about that point?
No, they're like super overcautious. I don't know. They just they drive super slow getting onto freeways too.
Now, if you
that's what I was gonna say.
Can't you get a DUI for using mouthwash there? Basically,
So-
They're super strict on it.
You can say what you want about people speeding. It's incredibly dangerous. People die from it. It's stupid. You shouldn't speed too much, blah, blah, blah. But going too fucking slow and entering a freeway too slow is just as fucking dangerous.
Dude, it used to drive me nuts trying to get on I-15 because they have extremely long entrances. And the reason for part of the reason for that is the weather too. We have like being around the mountains and stuff. There is another reason to it as well.
So the exact opposite of 94 when you're cutting by like anywhere from St. Clair Shores to Detroit.
Yes,
I like
pretty
some
much, yeah.
Some of the Detroit on ramps, you got like 25 feet to get your speed up.
But the thing is they're like super long, and people will they'll drive them at like 45 miles an hour all the way to the end, then start speeding up to the speed. It used to. My God, I hate it.
That happens. I hate that in my work truck more than anything because I can pretty much my truck's not like a semi. I can get up. It's like maybe like a van or something. I can get up decent speed, but when you get behind them people that won't go faster than 35, 45, and then they take off, you're stuck. Like now,
and then you look like the asshole.
Yeah, and they're all like shooting around you and honking. I hate that.
Is your truck governor? You can
I can't go past 70.
Oh, still, that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I remember when Craig used to deliver furniture. It wouldn't go over 60, I think he said.
Yeah. Well.
Oh yeah, that one,
Yeah.
that place he worked at. Yeah,
I can legally go 65.
Okay.
yeah.
So
I hate that more than anything.
Man, I had that little 93 Escort that I bought off of my ex's grandma and drove. We flew down to Florida, bought it, and drove it back up here. And I took it out there with me. When them people would drive, like I didn't care about the car, you know. And insurance out there's like dirt cheap because it's an at-fault state.
Yeah.
So I basically would like drive like a maniac, and they would be afraid of me and move out of my way.
That's the thing. Other thing I hate is because most of the time the people they get mad and ride up on my ass and stuff when I'm my own van, which is a pile of shit. It's like, you have a nice car. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Hit me. That's fine. I don't care about my car. Look at my car. I do not care about it. Your car is nice. Just don't fuck with me.
Matt said something before on Facebook that I could not like enough, and it was like when he was saying, like, what's the point of fucking turn signals? All it is nowadays is you put your turn signal on to get in a lane, and it's just an invitation for the other person to go faster so you can't get over.
Yeah.
And it's really what it is. It's like there's no that's why people cut people off, because the second you try to do the right thing and put your turn signal on, the person in the lane that was driving so slow, I was like, oh, I can't let this person over. Everyone's so insecure that they can't let another person.
There's an easy way to.
you have to be the fastest at all times.
There's
You got
an
to be
easy
up
way
front.
to remedy that too, and it's perfectly legal.
Yeah.
Use hand signals.
Yeah.
You do not have to use a turn signal. You can use a hand signal.
Oh, but like Matt said, you're better off just getting over in the lane and cutting the person off.
But that's what I mean. Like right at the last minute, you just roll the window down and go, "Oh, I'm getting over." And most people do not know. Younger people especially do not know about hand signals
or Van Halen.
Yeah, or Van Halen.
Just to bring it all back.
Or Motley Crue. No, the kid I work with, he did. I played the night he died. I jammed Van Halen one is like. I'm not a huge Van Halen fan. I'm a huge Eddie Van Halen fan, but not necessarily their music, all their music. But I like
the cultural impact of them is undeniable. Like I said,
but Van Halen, the first one, man.
Of all four of us, none of us are huge Eddie Van Halen fans, but I can recognize that they were probably the most important, especially Eddie's playing, most important cultural musician of my lifetime.
I never
everybody copied him.
I never saw him with David Lee Roth.
But when you think about that band, those first albums with David Lee Roth, they were a party band that had no business having somebody that talented in that band.
Right.
Like most party bands are just like, we can't play music, so let's just be entertaining with partying.
Well, we got a party band, and we have the best guitar player in the world.
David Lee Roth. It's not like he's got these great singing skills. He's an entertainer. He's a front man. Well, that's it.
Very raw.
Well, the thing that gets put. Al is actually a really phenomenal drummer.
Yeah,
he's really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
but Eddie was just so great that people like just didn't notice or
you
care.
don't really notice great drummers until people point it out, though. Like it's not something that's flashy because it's always going to be like probably.
Yeah, there's only a few that like stand out, like
Meg White.
Yeah,
there's only a few that stand out like that, like Neil Peart.
I didn't realize how big her boobs are. By the way,
big boobs.
She has huge boobs.
Big boobs.
Meg White. My goodness.
Have you seen her in the last few years?
No.
Did Oliver get big?
The last place I worked at, the guy I worked with, like that I worked side by side with, his fiance and her best friends grew up together, and I saw like some pictures of all them hanging out just a couple of years ago. Yeah, she got real big.
But even like you're saying, as like a music nerd, I don't even fucking really notice a great drummer.
No.
Until someone points it out and they're like, "Oh yeah, this dude's fucking bad." Like I was talking to Mike, that band, I like that 4-Stroke Baron.
Yeah, they're a great band.
Like the drummer, like when you listen to songs, like the audio of it, you're like, yeah, he's pretty good. And then you watch just the drum, like not tutorial, but like it's him playing alone, and you're like, this dude's fucking the best drummer that no one's ever fucking heard of.
Right.
The funny thing about him, he looks like a guy that they picked out of a frat.
Yeah.
And he's kind of has a thick neck. It looks like maybe he didn't quite make it as a middle linebacker at Cornell or something. So now he's playing drums.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
he's really fucking good.
He's really good. Like I watched like anything Travis Barker does.
See, that's what I mean. There's a lot of guys like that. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's only a few that like
It's not
like
a
I said
it's not a sexy instrument.
Like
when
I
it
was
comes
saying
to,
with
like,
Neil Peart,
showmanship.
a lot of people knew because
I would
he
argue
played-
that rock bass players are the most like not known.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people, like with Neil Peart, the reason that he was more known than a lot of the drummers is because he did a lot of different percussion,
And he wrote a lot of the lyrics.
and he wrote,
Yeah.
and
Same thing with Tommy Lee.
Yeah,
Tommy Lee, same thing.
Yeah.
Not as
But yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
I'm not
I mean,
talking about their
drummers
skill
are just
level. I'm
not-
just talking about their contribution to their band.
And their wiener size.
We,
yeah.
Other
Well, that's
size.
contribution to the band.
yeah,
Sure.
Tommy had a giant meat whistle, or has. He's still alive.
Did Neil Peart? I can't remember this story because I remember him being like one of the main songwriters. But did he write it because like he was actually the leader of the band, or because like Geddy Lee just did?
Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson just wanted to play.
Okay.
In fact, before him, the original drummer, they basically they told the record company on their first album with him, they're like, yeah, he's putting the songs together, and we're gonna, and so they like write a bunch. They didn't like writing lyrics.
Yeah,
They're
I remember seeing
they're
that
like,
documentary
go-
where they talk about that.
Yeah, they're like, you write the lyrics, and then like they got with him, and he wrote some.
because
but he
Neil
hadn't
Peart
wrote
was
them
always
all.
like the one driving the band. So he's like,
Yeah.
so here's what we're doing now. We're gonna do more like electronic stuff.
Yeah.
Or,
Well,
like,
Neil Peart, he was like a real avid reader.
Yeah.
and he was
Yeah.
super like extreme. Anything he just read anything, so he bases lyrics off of anything from Ayn Rand libertarianism to Third Eye and sensory perception, whatever. He
Yeah,
just-
But
Tom
they
Sawyer.
loved it. They loved it because they could just create music, which is all they wanted to do.
Yeah.
They wanted to be more like a progressive band that they could create like all this music, but not really make songs. You know? Like just jam along.
Some people want to do that though. Like even like something as stupid, not to put it on a level as Rush, but even on the band with like your guys' brother and Jay. Jay never wanted to write lyrics, and I'm like, I felt weird writing lyrics. Somebody's like, no, I love this. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I know what I got to do then. Like,
I don't want to write them. So you write.
Yeah,
them.
a lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't. That they can't put it. I mean,
you always think about the singer as the leader of the band, and then the more you find out, that's not really the case with a lot of bands. Yeah.
No, actually, the reason Slipknot isn't no good anymore because the guy that wrote everything, Paul, died pretty.
the
quite
bass
a,
player, right?
Quite a ways back, and no one had any clue because Mick, their guitar player, is real good. Joey's a phenomenal. Like Corey's did, the Stone Sour. Everybody thought no one thought that it was Paul. And then when he died, like Corey's like, yeah, Paul wrote most of the music. A lot of people don't know that he wrote most of everything.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't care about being the guy in the magazine. He's when even till the day he died, he drank at the same bar, like a little dive bar by his house that he grew up in. Like he had no aspiration to be a rock star, be the guy up front. He didn't care at all for that. And
yeah, there's a lot of them like that. They're just the songwriting guys,
And we talked about that a couple weeks ago too. There's people like Billy Corgan. He writes music for bands that he doesn't even like.
Yeah.
He just because he has a knack for it. Like there's that band. I don't know, fucking not like there's like the Nickelback style of bands. I can't think of the one band that he did a bunch of songs for them, but he wrote like a bunch of the like that genre of
Hinder,
Well, let's
3 Days Grace.
Well, let's put it this way: if
Nickelback.
if Billy Corgan wouldn't have stepped in, Courtney Love wouldn't have had a second whole album.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
She couldn't write. She cannot write.
Well, I like
music.
how her one album sounded like Kurt, and then when
Yeah.
that was when she used all Kurt songs, and all
Then
of a
all of a
sudden
sudden it
it's
sounds like Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can't write. She can't write because somebody said that she did a solo album. I was not aware of this, and I'm like, and they're like, oh, it's great. I'm like, oh, I'm sure it's not unless somebody else wrote it because I'm sorry, but she has no talent.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
But back to the Eddie thing. The thing about him, it isn't so much about like me or any of us being a huge fan of him. It's just everybody you knew, like you just knew that he was like it was one of those things you. Even if you weren't a fan of Michael Jordan, well, Michael Jordan's the best basketball player. I hate him because I'm from Detroit, but he is the best. Same thing with Eddie. Everybody knew it was like a unspoken thing. Who's the best guitar player alive right now? Oh, Eddie. It's just like everyone's pretty much there was a consensus on it.
Well, there was like a couple. One guy at work was saying that he was like, he's like, well, he created a genre of music.
Hair metal.
I go, but he influenced more than just. A generation of kids. He influenced multiple. Like to me, like there's two. Jimi Hendrix did things with guitars that all the great guitar players of that time said. He did things with guitars that nobody else did, and people emulated him, and that's what Eddie Van Halen. So
lighting him on fire.
To me, the two most influential guitar players, right there.
I would agree. I would definitely agree.
But a lot of people think that I'm saying the greatest guitar players. That's not necessarily true. Song-wise, that might not be true. They just influenced a ton of fucking people.
You also don't realize this till you get older, and we're all definitely well past age. I'm saying like when you're in your like even early 30s, your favorite thing isn't the best.
No.
So you can
it never is.
You can say this is your favorite thing, and you can love it till the end of and it can be a good thing. It can even be a bad thing. It's your favorite. You just have to recognize things that are good. The best things aren't necessarily what you like the most.
You know, I was watching an interview with Doyle von Frankenstein from Misfits.
Yeah.
By the way, he's fucking 50 and he's still ripped.
Dude, he's a
all
fucking
natural.
total vegan.
He's 6'4" and jacked.
He's a total vegan too.
Yeah, and he was talking about he's doing his rig rundown. He was really involved with the making of the body, all the like mechanical elements of it. Mm-hmm. But he admits, like, well, as far as playing it, he goes, I don't practice. He goes, I write songs. He goes, they hand me the guitar when I come out here. He goes, he cited, he goes, I'm not trying to be Eddie Van Halen. No. He goes, I don't know anything about music. He goes, I just can write you a good song.
Yeah.
If you need a song, I'll write you a song. He goes, besides that, he goes, I don't know what I'm doing.
He's so extremely generic. I mean, he does. But yeah, I have him on Instagram. But he said like he went and saw Van Halen years and years ago, and he was like, "Dude, it was the most phenomenal thing in the world." But
that's what changed him. He's like, I want to do what that guy's doing. He goes, then when I started playing, I'm like, all right, I'll never be as good as him.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna write songs.
When he joined Misfits, he was only his older brother is in Misfits. Doyle was only like 15 at the time.
Yeah, he was a kid.
Yeah, and so. And him and his brother, when they would tour, when they weren't making any money, they were working with his dad in a machine shop.
Yep, and that's how he started making his own guitar.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny that you brought up Doyle because today I just got in
he
the
seems
mail.
like a really cool guy.
He is, yeah. But I just got in the mail. I just got Doyle for President T-shirt. I just ordered today.
There's a time and place for everything, though. I mean, the Misfits are nowhere near as technical as Van Halen, but someone could enjoy the Misfits way more than they could Van Halen. It's not a fucking crime. Like, I mean,
well, I'm a diehard Misfits fan. Always have been. I'm not a huge Glenn Danzig fan.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge Misfits.
But I just think about when people talk about like technicality. Like Van Halen had the not the band had the ability to like have amazing talent and shredding, but good songs. You have bands like Dragon Force where the novelty is shredding, and there's nothing more there.
And they just do shredding the whole time.
Yeah,
the entire time.
And it's like cool.
Yeah. But whereas if you look at like a live performance from Van Halen, it's more than just. It's a lot more than that.
It's structured more like a play or a musical with the ups and the downs. Where you go see something like Dragon Force. Like who wants to watch that shit for fucking?
Well, Eddie was
minutes?
Eddie was a great composer. Like he could put music together. I mean, he had a knack for it. I mean, and then watching some of his live shit and some of the shit he did with guitars, and it wasn't just how fast he was. It was just some of the shit that he just did. I mean, little things. I'm like,
he was also an amazing rhythm guitar player. That gets like lost in it. Everyone talks about Eruption. He did it. He could write a fucking riff, like a killer riff.
Listen to some of the riffs, man. So like you listen to it, it's like, I mean, how did he play that? I mean,
think about it, something as simple as he played on "Beat It" with Michael Jackson. I don't know who
for a case of beer.
I don't know who wrote that guitar riff, but that's a pretty simple riff that is hooked in our minds forever.
You never heard the story? Michael Jackson lived by him. Came to his house, talked to Valerie Bertinelli. She said, "Yeah, it was your husband home. I wanted to talk to him about playing on a song for me." Mm-hmm. He went in, talked to Eddie. Eddie was there. He didn't want any credit. He's not acknowledged on it. Yeah. It was never acknowledged. You know it's Eddie.
They said they did it live one time.
Yep.
Yeah.
He did a one take.
Yep. And he did it for a case of beer.
That's funny.
And he took no credit for it. He wanted no credit on the album as a guitar player for it.
It's funny you say that because Slash is on an ICP album, and he did the same thing. Slash is like, just give me a bottle of whiskey, and I like you guys. So it's fucking funny.
Well, and that was kind of like, he was like, I mean,
Kerry King's on No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
Yep.
It's true.
That's because Rick Rubin is good friends with him. So
Yeah.
that's and he's
Right.
the Beastie Boys. But
Well, Rick Rubin pretty much made like what the first five Slayer albums, I think 5 or 6 of them they did.
yeah, he did basically all the good ones.
Well, yeah, because we have like two big anniversaries this week. 34 years ago, this week was Rain and Blood, and 30 years ago was Seasons in the Abyss.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It was just like 2 days ago, I think it was.
Phil celebrated Rain and Blood Day the other day.
Oh yeah, he did.
And also, we should say hey to Phil.
Hey, Phil.
Congratulations on his newborn child.
Is that why Phil ain't been around?
Yeah, he got another kid. Another cheering.
Calder is what he named him.
Is that why he ain't been around on here?
That's why I wanted to ask him. I was hoping he would pop in for some reason, but he's not going to. But I want to ask him a question about his brand new son. Congratulations. But
yeah, because I finally listened to the band you told me about, and then
Scissor Fight.
he never shows up anymore.
Yeah,
So we'll just send him a message.
So I didn't know his wife was. Man, I thought they had like older puppies and they were done having puppies. But
Jeff Beck, Jeff Beck is a killer guitarist. He's phenomenal.
But here I see that's the point I was.
Never heard
at.
of him.
It's the all right.
Never heard of Jeff Beck.
That's actually my dad. That's my dad's favorite guitar player. Is Jeff Beck.
Jeff Beck is. In my opinion, he is like
he was more technical than his peers.
He's a top 5 guitar player of all time. He's in the top 5.
Well, the Rod Stewart's quote. He goes, "We had a love-hate relationship. I loved him. He hated me."
Yeah,
because I guess he's kind of a dick.
But
always wearing a little neckerchief or ascot or whatever.
The thing with like Jeff Beck and
he can fucking rip.
The guitar players of that era, Jimmy Page, Clapton, all these guys, they're great guitar players. But they're not influential in the same sense because they just took blues music and made it rock and roll. Where Eddie Van Halen made a completely different sound.
I will stop being a dick, John.
Stop being a dick, okay.
I will stop.
Stop being
I think
a
it's
dick.
Danielle's uncle.
Oh,
Thanks for listening.
My favorite guitar player is Cheech from Cheech and Chong.
I thought it was Chong that played.
It's Chong that plays guitar. That's why I started laughing. It's Chong who plays guitar.
But yeah, you're right. They didn't have the same level of, I guess, showmanship that Eddie Van Halen did. Like you guys said, it was almost like a play.
Those guys, like they were all like they came from an era where they listened to the blues and they loved the blues, and then they created something from that. But Eddie Van Halen took classical really and put it on the map.
And I think that's why Rhodes gets compared to Van Halen. Like they always, like Eddie Van Halen's Ali and he's Frazier. Yeah. It's because Rhodes had that classical style too. You could hear that Mozart. The difference between the two. Eddie was better and more innovative easily. There's no doubt about it. But Rhodes did read music, was more theory trained. Yeah, right. So there's certain things he did that were in a technical sense, tighter.
He's definitely fantastic.
But Eddie's the man, and Randy even admitted it. But he was. I think it would have been cool if they would have if Randy hadn't passed away and they would have aged together. Yeah, because Randy, there's no way nobody works with Ozzy forever. He becomes too difficult to work with, and eventually and he probably would have done some really cool shit off on his own. But he had no name; he was a kid. So he couldn't write all his own shit.
Well, see, I heard that Eddie had the Illuminati take him out.
Take out Randy Rhoads.
So he had no competition.
That's true.
It could be true.
The Dutch Mafia.
Isn't there the rumor that Dave Grohl had the Illuminati take Kurt Cobain out so that he could start his own band?
Maybe.
Yeah, because he totally couldn't have started a band without Kurt alive.
Yeah, dude,
Kurt being alive Kurt had to die for him to do Foo Fighters was the only way.
That's the only way it's gonna work.
There's some on the internet.
It's funny though because people they lump. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, but they lump in Guns N' Roses with hair metal, and it always annoyed me. They also lump in Van Halen with hair metal.
They were just hard rock,
and that totally annoyed me too.
Yeah.
I always thought that not from the technical aspect or even talent, but I always thought that Van Halen had more in common with the Cars than Motley Crue.
Yeah,
good times, having fun, good songs.
To be more specific, hair metal was because of David Lee Roth. in his style, not necessarily the music.
He
The
wasn't, but he
showmanship.
kind of inspired.
Yeah, the every front man kind of had that sort of flamboyant, feminine energy. Not that he was a feminine guy, but like it kind of
Well,
was.
yeah, but he did wear like assless chaps.
Yeah,
and
yeah, you know what I
shit
mean?
like
And-
on
But I think
stage.
even Motley Crue, as being hair metal, I think they were even more trying to be like Road Warrior evil shit, where like Poison is my...
Yeah, that's glam.
That's-
yeah,
yeah,
Well,
that's
I
glam,
think,
yeah.
but I guess what Eddie, the way he influenced all the '80s guitar players, even the guy in a shitty band could shred. Like the band might totally suck, but the guitar player would be able to do finger tapping and shred because he was a fan of Eddie Van Halen.
So
Yeah.
so Eddie Van Halen itself wasn't a hair metal band, but they inspired a lot of those hair metal bands.
Yeah.
Well, like going back, I think it was
Everyone could shred in the '80s. Everybody.
It's true. If you weren't a good band, if you didn't have somebody who could do some shredding.
Isn't it weird to think about, like, when I think 80s, we think we have the same thing. We're thinking about either like the metal we're talking about or like synth, like Duran Duran, you know, that kind
Yeah.
of music. But it's weird to think about No Effects started in the 80s.
No effects.
you know,
but Slayer started in the
Metallica.
'80s.
You know, it's-
Metallica,
yeah.
thrash.
You know, it's kind of funny. Like the original guitar player of Duran Duran, he shreds too. He
Oh,
didn't
there's so many people that you would
he's
never
a really
guess.
good guitar player. He's actually a really good guitar
That wasn't
player.
one of the Taylors?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Andy or John?
Andy
Okay.
Taylor. He's actually a really
But
good
he
guitar.
left-
Pat Benatar's husband can
Oh
fucking
yeah, Neil
rip.
Gerardo,
He
man.
can
Gerardo.
fucking rip.
Yeah,
Andy
you-
Taylor's a weird one because when he left Duran Duran, he went and became the mayor of Mayberry or the sheriff of Mayberry.
yeah, right. Yep. And he picked
nice
up.
town.
Sheriff Andy Taylor.
That just
But going back,
That just sunk in.
yeah, I know. Going back, we went. This was not that long ago. We were talking about singers because there's lead singers of bands, but then there's frontmen.
Oh, yeah.
David Lee Roth is the ultimate frontman.
David Lee Roth is the ultimate
Because he's not a
frontman.
singer.
And another guy who's not on the same level, but is to me more of a frontman type is Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even, but the difference between him and David Lee Roth is Steven Tyler can
He can actually sing.
he
a
can
little bit.
actually sing, but he plays he's a trained pianist. He's a drummer.
He's a fantastic drummer.
He's actually he's a great musician.
Aerosmith's actually one of those bands that's like really hard to fucking like lump with something. Like, I'm not even the biggest
there's
Aerosmith.
there's two Aerosmiths.
They're kind of three, if you think about it.
There's actually three.
The drug
Yeah.
Aerosmith, the poppy, Love and Elevator, and then there's the post like Armageddon
Yeah.
Aerosmith.
Yeah. But like the original, like early on, I mean, good straightforward rock and roll.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's Van Halen, rock and roll. Guns N' Roses, straight up like one of the greatest rock and roll, just straight rock and roll albums, Appetite for Destruction.
Oh, absolutely.
Hair metal at its finest.
But I also
I know.
I also fucking love both the Use Your Illusion albums.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Don't get me wrong. I think they're great. I'm just saying that when I heard when I heard Appetite for Destruction, I mean it was just rock and roll. It
I'm not
was
trying to
just-
laugh the way you twisted your words
Yeah.
for some reason. That it's like Bill Walton.
When I was following around
Jason Kidd had these hazel green eyes.
It reminded me of when I followed around the dad.
Let's not get into the Grateful Dead, please.
Yeah,
Shaquille O'Neal is 7'1".
yeah.
You also share a little bit of a overrated for the Grateful Dead.
Oh no, we did a whole thing about jam
yeah.
bands.
Jam bands are
yeah.
awful.
Yeah. Remember,
I
Jam?
can't find
This
any
is
redeeming
how
quality.
This is how I describe Jam Dance. I'm like,
And then 20 minutes later,
20 minutes later, oh, it's a crunchy groove, man.
Jam bands, all they're good for is they do have some good ice cream flavors from
Yeah.
Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, I love
But
fish
other
food.
than that, I can't fucking stand it.
I love fish food.
If you want to hang around with a
Fish
lot of
food or
if you-
Cherry Garcia are fucking phenomenal.
if you want to hang around with a lot of smelly people for days on end and be just fucking stoned out of your mind, man, hey, go.
The only reason I would even
to a
consider
Fish
going,
concert.
because I would like to be surrounded by people where I'm actually good looking,
yeah,
where I'm considered good looking.
you have good hygiene.
Yeah. Yeah, like, oh, you're a handsome fellow there.
You're not a dirty fucking
He's
hippie.
got all his teeth.
Yeah.
How come you don't smell like patchouli?
Yeah, right.
That is a bad smell.
God, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's not bad where like the dude eating the fish earlier, like offensive. It's just a smell where you're like,
Yeah, my buddy Johnny like lived in that stuff. He would drop.
I hate that smell.
He'd basically drop drops of that patchouli oil in the bathtub, and then for like the next week he wouldn't shower, but he'd still smell like patchouli. Yeah, and this was in our 20s, you know, the grunge era. But yeah, my other buddy was like, you and that fucking buck scent that you wear all the time.
Man, I will tell you, when we lived in the duplex and Nick would burn the fucking incense.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, it killed me. It killed my sinuses. I fucking hated
another
that shit.
smell that's like, it's not like offensive in the fact that it's like gross, like again, like the fish or like poop or decomposed, like
No,
whatever the fuck is in Goo Gone. Yeah. Can we get that the fuck out of here?
Yeah.
No, because it doesn't work then.
Goo Gone's so bad.
That's the stuff that makes it gone.
Yeah.
It's just it's like citrus and poison.
Yeah.
It's so
It is.
bad.
So
it's like talk dirty to me.
Morgan really hates the Grateful Dead, he says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I agree with him on that one.
You got to listen to them live. Every song is about 4 times long.
Phil West. No, see, now I know a guy that goes, no, dude, you really want to understand him. You just, you listen to the albums. I'm like, no. No. All right. If I tell you I don't like the Grateful Dead, do you think it's because I didn't fucking listen to them?
Yeah.
I've listened to them. I've dated 3 or 4 different hippie chicks.
You just saw a picture of him like, nah, fuck them. I'm not doing this.
I've dated
It
like
didn't work
3 or
that way.
4 different hippie chicks.
There are bands that I hated once and then they won me over, but
Yeah.
Grateful Dead's not one of them.
No.
Rush
No.
was for me. I didn't like Rush.
I love Rush.
Well, I was young. And
Yeah,
then
Rush.
I
You
got
know,
used to-
and
I got used to Geddy Lee's voice, and then I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I get it.
yeah.
I really like that kind of voice, though. Even bands that are out, like, more current bands, I love that, like, higher pitched voice.
Yeah.
There's bands. A band I didn't like when they came out. I hated when people played them. Was Stone Temple Pilots.
Really?
And then when I became, I don't know, about 5-6 years ago, I like all their music. So I don't know if I
love
got
Stone
older.
Temple Pilots.
I didn't like it when I was young.
There's another guy right
I
there.
liked that. I liked Plush when it came out. Just Plush.
There's another
You know
guy
that song
right there,
Wicked
great
Garden? I
frontman.
remember hating Wicked Garden. I hated that song.
Really? I love everything they've pretty much done except the Shangri-La Da album and then the one they came out with in 2010 where none of them wanted to do it, but they were trying to cash in on the name.
Yeah.
That Between the Lines song was awesome.
Oh, it's so awesome.
That song is really good, and then
It's a
the
really
album
good song.
sucks.
Yeah, that's like the one.
They're like, we
that's-
need one good song, and that's it.
That's it too, and it's like it's a really good song. And then
Even when we used to take drugs, the way he says it. But he was still really on drugs in that album. So
yeah, right.
Lots of
But
drugs.
they did an album with Chester.
yeah,
Okay.
or EP like 4 songs.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And-
Because right now with that Jeff Goot, the guy from Marine City, they're next week sometime. It's on Instagram. They're doing the whole Purple album.
I can't care anymore. I want to because I love the music, but it just feels so cover bandy.
And I mean that's
It's always good when you can become a cover band
That's-
of yourself. We've always said that here.
Yeah,
That's why I never gave any time to Sublime with Rome.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but sometimes it works. Like
Alice in Chains, man.
that's one band where it works. I
It
think.
works, man, because they're writing songs still. They're writing good music.
You
Yeah,
are
because
right.
their songwriter didn't die. Jerry Cantrell is still alive.
Yeah, but William Duvall writes too, and he's that guy's hella talented.
And
man.
he's actually he writes guitar licks for him.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
a talented.
And I
guitar
kind
player.
of
hella
do look at them
talented.
as 2 different bands, even
They
though
are.
it is the same band. Whereas, like you said, like Sublime with Rome, that's junky.
That's how Van Halen did it. Van Halen became Van Halen became a different band when Sammy Hagar.
I do like the Sammy stuff, but it isn't the same.
It's not the same.
No,
They're
it's
a different
definitely
band.
more. It's more polished.
So
it's mainstream.
When
but
somebody tells me,
It's
who
a
do you,
get-
do
it's
you
get
like
married
Hagar or do you like David Lee Roth? Well, I like both.
Yeah,
They're different bands.
it's
to me.
kind of funny though because, like we said, they were like the lyrics to Jump and a lot of those songs. Hot for Teacher. It's party band stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they got Sammy Hagar and it made him serious. But Sammy Hagar's music now could be more party music.
right.
It's
it
hilarious.
was party music, and then with Hagar, it was getting married music.
you know
See,
what
yeah.
I read was one of the reasons that the rift between Eddie Van Halen and David Lee Roth before he left the band originally is because of Beat It. He didn't like Eddie doing these side projects and stuff, and he got pissed off that he was doing this other stuff, And he didn't want anything.
He did one.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, you mean side project? Because it was it.
And then he did Just a Gigolo.
Yeah. Oh my God.
For like maybe the only person
he
that
did
was a bigger
California
name.
Girls.
Yeah, that was it.
Good Lord. That's so
He did one thing for the one person on Earth that had a big enough name where it makes sense for him to go do it for him.
And he was like, nah, fuck this. So I don't know how true that was either. But
I don't, dude, honestly, I think that he was just such a pain in the ass that management said get rid of him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because, like, initially,
wrong with this
like, Eddie Van Halen was talking to a lot of
kept on trying to
different
get back
people.
on me,
He had a whole completely different,
I just kind of
like, he wanted to
I
go
don't
a
think that was
completely different route with his band.
You guys talked about
Yeah.
Daryl Hall at some point.
Daryl Hall, Patty Smythe, but he wanted to go in a complete. Supposedly, he at one point after he had wrote like a whole album. He has supposedly he has a whole album written, recorded, and everything of him singing, and how he was going to just do Van Halen as a 3-piece. It was going to be him and his brother, and
I can't imagine that's very good, like vocal wise.
I don't know. I don't know that
his talking voice sucks, so I can only imagine his singing voice is brutal.
I don't know, but it was a lot mellower music. It was what he wanted to move more into, less into the rock and more into like just a more melodic style.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
could have worked.
I mean, who knows? I mean, we were just what was it last month? It was the 50th anniversary of Jimi Hendrix's death, and I'm like, what would he have created had he lived?
A bunch of kids.
Kurt Cobain.
So many kids.
Kurt Cobain. Would Nirvana still be around? Probably in some sense, but Kurt Cobain would have done solo shit, and it would have probably been gloomy acoustic.
That's why
weird.
I don't think Kurt needed to be dead for Dave to do.
He'd have been doing like a collabs with Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
It all
about-
depends if you get
maybe.
clean or not. Honestly, it depends if you get clean. Some of those guys, when they sober up, they go like really hard one way, and some of them are just like kind of meander through.
How clean was he ever in the tenure of the band, though?
I don't know.
So that's the other thing. If he's clean, is the music the same?
It's kind of crazy when you look at the Nirvana career. It's very small, but also like a lot of the promo pics and like stuff you see, he always kind of looked kind of like dirty and grody, but he put himself together really nicely for that Unplugged performance. Where like women actually thought he was like super handsome. He seemed totally fucking normal.
That fucking cardigan.
Yeah. But I mean,
$250,000.
but that performance that he put on for that one night was like that looked like a sober dude in the zone.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? When that Unplugged came out, every retail shop in this fucking country, people were looking for that fucking cardigan.
Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
The actual one sold for $250,000.
And he found it at a goddamn thrift shop in Seattle.
And I always wondered that. People are like, oh, if he would have lived. Well, if he would have got clean, I don't know if the music would have been.
No, that's
what
what I'm
was.
saying. I don't know. Either way, I just think there would have still been Nirvana in some sense. Like he would, but I just don't think they would have been doing. He would have been like, do your own projects, whatever.
The fantasy fiction is fun to think about.
They would have done a few albums. It would have been a lot in between, I think.
I think at one point, Grohl said that Kurt wanted to go make an album with Courtney, like a Yoko Ono, John Lennon kind of thing.
So Courtney would have eventually ruined the whole thing.
Yeah, right.
Eventually.
Right. Yeah.
You guys see that meme floating around where it's like, just remember this butt broke up the Beatles?
God, Yoko's terrible ass.
Terrible ass. I was laughing. Dude, I was on my lunch break at work just laughing my ass off at that.
Because that was another thing, too. He would have been 80 years old.
Yeah, Lennon would have been 80.
But I always wonder, I'm like, okay, because she's not attractive at all.
No.
Like the whole, guys got things
Neither
for
was he, though, so.
Yeah, but guys got things for, like, Asian women or whatever. But, I mean, there's no redeeming attractive qualities physically about her.
As far as Asian women go, she's probably the ugliest.
Oh God, yes.
Usually they're
but
typically
even young.
They're typically like a can't miss. At least they're cute.
Yeah,
That's weird.
She's just, I don't know what it was.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
She did not hit the genetic lottery.
when he met her and she was real young. Okay, she's hot, and then okay, she gets older, but she was hot at one point. No, that's not the case. She couldn't sing.
I think when you're John Lennon and he probably been sucked and fucked any way imaginable he wanted. He wanted to spiritual connection or something.
See, yeah,
And that
I
had
thought
to be what it was.
I thought it was either that or she did something incredibly insane that blew his fucking mind.
It definitely
this.
wasn't that ass that won him over.
It was.
It's like magic.
I just remember this ass broke up the biggest band of all time.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
I actually heard that George and Paul, that contrary to popular belief, George and Paul was the final fight. They hate, like, George got mad that nothing he wrote made anything. Like, it didn't.
Yeah.
He said at the rate we were going, I would have had to wait 10 albums just to write everything, just to get everything that I wrote in 1966.
Yeah.
You know, he's like on a.
That's
Well, and that was the one. No, everybody knew Ringo wasn't going to do much after the band.
Yeah.
He did some stuff, but it was Ringo stuff.
The All-Star, man.
Well, he
Ringo.
did the All-Star band,
That's-
but there was people who were like, George Harrison ain't going to do that much when he leaves the Beatles. It ain't going to work out. And what did he do? The
I
fucking.
got my mind set.
Well, I'm talking about in the 70s. So
He did pretty good in the 70s.
and that's
Yeah,
what I'm
I know he
saying.
did.
All Things Must Pass. Was that what the name of the album was?
Yeah.
A triple album, not a double album.
Yeah.
A triple album. That thing sold like 10 million copies.
like we just talked about Nirvana's career. It's really fucked up to wrap your head around the amount of stuff the Beatles put out in that little amount of time. Their career was what, 11 years? Something
Was it
like-
that long? No.
Well, I mean,
I don't even think it was 11.
From inception to like the end.
Okay, playing
Yeah.
in Berlin and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or when they looked like Elvis. Like
Yeah.
back
But
in
if you
that
go
time,
from
yeah.
like Ed Sullivan
They
show to
formed
the
in-
end, that was 7 years.
Yeah, they formed
Yeah.
in 59.
Yeah, because they're playing a Cavern Club and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I read that their career as a band was 11 years.
Yeah.
But then they didn't tour. You know, they stopped. None of them wanted to do tours anymore.
Yeah,
They-
and actually, when just
yeah.
touring, it was only 5
Yes,
years.
he was,
Yeah.
John. He was awesome on his own.
George was awesome on his own. John's correct.
But that's fucking crazy. Like to think about this band, and not that they're long albums. They're 12-song albums with 2-3 minute songs, but
Yep.
still, like they're
As they got older, they got longer. But yeah, it was. You find more trippy stuff to write about.
and it's weird how much they evolved in such a short
Well,
time
like,
span too.
all right, so
it was
like,
the Illuminati. It made them.
Yeah,
our dad,
the second Paul McCartney also.
our dad
Yeah.
doesn't really like that bubble. This is how he called it, bubblegum shit.
No.
And the Beatles were bubblegum shit to him until Rubber Soul came out.
Rubber Soul, really?
Yeah, after the Rubber Soul album, he said that's when they
I guess so. Yeah, makes
that's
sense.
when they started experimenting. I go, yeah, it's, I'm thinking to myself,
after Rubber Soul,
yeah, he's like, he goes, after that was when to him that was when
the White Album. And
But
the-
like, yeah, before that, he said it was just bubblegum shit, just like the Beach Boys, and he didn't like. My dad
That's
doesn't
another
like that
band.
shit.
Like I respect the hell out of the Beach
So do
Boys,
I.
but I can't get into
I'm not
it. It's
into
not
it.
my thing.
No.
But I definitely know.
Although-
I know it's good. I know it deserves to be put on a.
Although nowadays, like when I never liked him, I couldn't stand him, and people would talk about Pet Sounds. It's such a great
Yeah, that's
album
what
and
I was gonna
everything.
say.
Okay, I still didn't. I listened to it, and I still didn't like it. And then I listened to it about. It's been since I've been out of jail. So the last year, I listened to Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
It's genius.
it's great.
It's a great album.
Wouldn't it be nice? There's a bunch of other crap on it.
And it's not because of the pop. It's a genius album. It's a great album. Musically, it's
And
fantastic.
he illed out for a while, though.
Yeah,
I did. I like 46 years, man. I refused.
But isn't that kind of fun
No,
sometimes?
I mean, Brian Wilson. He.
Oh yeah,
He
dragged that out. Oh man, the battles
he,
that his,
snapped, he got up to 300 pounds and was doing cocaine, and he lived through all of it.
well, you got when he first started putting that album together, his dad and him battled like hell on that because he didn't want you keep making these bubblegum surf, you got to sell.
Yeah.
And he wanted. I mean, fuck, dude, just the recording process of that album. I mean, in a lot of albums like that back then. I mean, you wanted to make any type of concept album. I mean, it took forever to make something like that because you didn't have all the tracking you can do now.
Yeah,
I mean,
he didn't have a fucking Apple laptop.
Yeah.
with all this-
no, and that's why when you're talking about after Rubber Soul, like Sgt. Pepper and stuff,
yeah.
just the stupid stuff they tried. They're like, let's try. Like they would go into the studio and they would turn everything all the way up, and they said, if you dropped a pin in there, you're going to blow out the speakers in the entire studio. That's how
Yeah.
high they had the levels and everything. And they would like make some stupid noise in the background. We got to get that in the album somewhere. It's like someone makes a fart noise. Like we got to get that in there somewhere. But it took fucking forever. That album took a year and a half or something.
Yeah.
Which for the Beatles, they're putting out 2 albums a year.
Yeah.
Which is insane back then because nobody, like, it took a while to put albums out. I mean, you're constantly in the studio.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun, too, what you just said about, like, the Beach Boys is, like, you didn't appreciate something till way later on in life. And then, like, Mike said the same thing about Stone Temple Pilots. Like, sometimes there's just, like, a rut in music where you're like, I've listened to the same things I like so many times. Everything new, I'm not really digging. Not to say there's nothing new that's good out there. You're just not finding it. But then you just stumble across something old that you never really gave maybe the right attention to.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, this is great. I can't think of something right now. I mean, I will probably eventually, but it's like there's just bands that I never paid any attention to that's like, why did I never listen to this before?
Yeah, it's true.
My problem with the Beach Boys was always this. I didn't like them like throughout my teenage years and in my early 20s because fucking John Stamos.
Yeah.
And fucking Full House. And that's all I thought about was that
Kokomo.
stupid fucking... Actually, I loved Kokomo when it came out.
Dude.
I fucking loved Kokomo. I
That's-
was 9 years old.
But
and
he was in
stupid.
that video.
That's why
But no,
I
but then he
truly
did.
hated the
But he
Beach
was.
Boys.
They were
I
on
hate
Full
that
House like
song.
3 times. He toured with them and played drums with them, and they're like, "Oh, he's an honorary Beach Boy." And they talked about it in the fucking show. I'm like, fuck the fucking Beach Boys and
Yeah.
John Stamos.
Well,
What's wrong with Stamos?
Nothing now. It was just back
nothing.
then. I was like a teenager and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck this guy.
Kokomo though,
I
it's
loved
like
Kokomo,
I fucking hate
but
it
I was
'cause
9 years old. That's
So,
my
like,
defense.
you
That
know,
showed that like they were old as shit and they could still write a jam.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing, really.
a fictional place called Kokomo.
No, man, Kokomo, Indiana.
Yeah, dude. There was a bar that I drank at in Salt Lake City called the Kokomo Club, and it was about 100 years old, and
Yeah.
it looked like it when you walked into that place.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
what song is Kokomo from?
I don't know what song.
Cocktail.
Oh God, why?
Who
didn't
was
I
in
think-
Cocktail?
Elizabeth Shue.
It was her birthday the other day.
Babe, I love her.
Oh, was it her birthday?
It was her birthday.
I need her
57th
in my
birthday.
life.
57.
Yeah.
I posted some pictures.
She's
That was
perfect.
That was
Yeah,
our most liked
she's
post in
perfect.
I don't know how long.
Yeah, the Elizabeth Shue page shared Brian's post that he put up.
About Elizabeth Shue's birthday, and all of a sudden we had like 300 likes. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
She's a perfect age.
She's in lingerie in the season 2 of The Boys.
Really?
Don't
I
spoil
need
it.
her in my life. Bad.
I'm gonna catch up. Don't worry.
You haven't even started, have you?
I'm going to.
It just ended and it was really good. Like,
I heard it was an A+ ending to the season.
yeah, I liked season 1 more than season 2, but both are really, really fucking good.
Stones told me that season 2 was A+.
Yeah, it was really good.
Um,
I'm a little afraid without any spoilers that it's going to get a little too political in season 3.
probably everything.
Because I
does.
mean, this is a really bad example. I was talking to my buddy about this. Have you seen the Jurassic World movies?
No.
yes.
Well, the first Jurassic World was pretty bad, but the second Jurassic World is really bad because they took all the fun out of it and made the whole movie about policy and
Yeah.
dinosaur rights and
I love
law.
how he's
Dinosaur
like,
There was at least some cool stuff in the first one.
Yeah.
what I
The
love
second
is
one-
he was
and
like,
like
the
Jimmy-
first one was really bad, but the second, he goes, but the second one was really,
No,
really
because
bad.
at least the first one had like there's a fucking like megalodon jumping out of the water. and
Yeah,
grabbing
the
shit.
first one they still
Jimmy
kept,
Buffett's gonna attack
it's not
by
a good movie,
pterodactyl
but they still
and
was
stuff.
like, how do you ruin dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You add politics and law
Yeah.
and policy.
He's right.
And
But-
dinosaur rights.
and they make you
Yeah.
feel bad because something happens at the beginning of the second movie, and it's like, I can't believe they just did that to all those
They
dinosaurs.
also start here. I'll go.
Wouldn't global warming make it better for them?
they start trafficking? They start trafficking dinosaurs.
It's literally it's like human trafficking, but
Yes.
with dinosaurs.
Good.
dinosaur trafficking.
And then
what?
they
They're-
start auctioning.
they're not
off.
human. It don't matter.
It turns into a slave auction
Yeah.
of dinosaurs.
Good. They're not human. Doesn't matter.
and they made a big fuss about bringing Jeff Goldblum back. He's in it for about 7 minutes.
Is he in it that long?
I think he has like one part at the beginning and the end maybe, but they show him in the trailer like he's going to be a big part of it.
so there's dinosaurs.
And then
here.
like he gets out of the Jeep, he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god!" And that's the only thing I thought he said in the whole fucking movie.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Like looking off into distance. Oh my god!
So pretty much, I'm just kind of worried about the boys taking what they do about superheroes and
Too political.
adding too much political bullshit to
well,
it.
they all do.
Because they already have a character that's based off of what's her name, the AOC.
Oh,
Oh, do they?
Yeah, like it's like a fictional version of her.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of
Well,
they have
I
a
heard-
fictional squad.
I heard that Soldier Boy is going to be it. And I'm thinking, I thought he was still just rapping, but it's not the same Soldier Boy.
it's the character.
It's a
Soldier
character,
Boy
Soldier
from
Boy.
the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the dude from Supernatural. It's going to play him.
I was on YouTube and there was this
Dean from Supernatural.
there was like five different guests on who are like the greatest on talk shows, period.
Yeah.
and Jeff Goldblum's one of them on multiple talk shows.
I didn't realize how many people think he's fucking sexy.
They usually have him, and Norm is always Norm Macdonald's always considered a good guest.
Yeah. It's Norm.
I was surprised at that,
in the
too.
top 3 was Jeff Goldblum, Norm Macdonald, Bill Burr.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell is. I don't know if he was in the top 5, but Bill
He just
Burr
goes
was
all
like-
out. He doesn't care when he does
Yeah,
them.
but
Bill Burr's fucking great, dude.
he's hosting Saturday Night Live tonight.
Is he?
Yes, I got it.
Him and
recording.
Jack White now because the other guy had to drop out.
Who was the other guy?
Morgan Whalen,
I don't know this.
some country guy.
So Jack White is probably
He's the fill-in.
Yeah, your fill-in's a more known name that's better.
Yeah,
Apparently,
it was last minute thing.
yeah. Well, Bill Burr did some with the
Sherry's Berries.
yeah, dude. The Sherry. No, but he plays. He's a drummer,
I didn't know that.
and apparently he's a really really good drummer.
Night, John.
Burris?
Thank you for listening.
Bill Burr is. Yeah, apparently he's a really good drummer. Originally wanted to be. Wasn't going to be a comic. He wanted to be a rock star. He's like, but how do gingers, be rock stars?
Ginger Baker.
yeah. But he did something with another comedian who used to be. He's a comedian now, but he used to be in heavy metal bands. And there was like Nikki Sixx was there. There was a bunch of guitar players. They did a whole dedication for like. I think it was like the anniversary of Bon Scott's death or something like that. And but it was just back in March, and he played drums on it. And they did they did some Motley Crue songs, some AC/DC. They did a whole bunch of stuff, and he played everything.
That's sweet.
And they were like, "Yeah, man." I was like, and then I just happened to, because I got him on Instagram, and I saw, well, he's hosting Saturday Night Live. I'm like, oh fuck! So I recorded it.
I also just recently learned that John Taffer is a pretty good drummer.
Yeah.
Really? From
R-Rescue.
R-Rescue?
He's like
Yeah.
an old classic drummer. Even probably does like the.
Does he do the brushes and
Yeah,
stuff?
or the hand like this,
Or
way.
like
Yep.
like jazz, like
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
the chopstick.
But he was always like big into like rock music when he was younger. Before he was into bar
Say
thing.
like
And
I
he-
Am Spartacus.
dude, it's probably how he got started in the fucking remaking bars. He was probably playing in them all.
I love Taffer. That dude kills me.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that show. When it came out, I used to watch it all the time. Spike TV was where it started.
Yeah, yep. I
And
used to
then-
watch that. I'd watch Ink Master all the time,
Yeah.
which is funny. Like I'm not a tattoo guy. I have no desire to get tattoos. I have a girlfriend with a bunch of tattoos, but I just loved the show because like the artwork of the people they had in there was awesome. Like,
It is. It's just top notch.
and then you get to that final piece where they have to do like a full back piece. And like,
Oh, yeah.
it's something like I would never want on my body, never want on my girlfriend's body. But it's like it's cool to see that talent. Like
Yeah.
I probably haven't watched it in like 4 or 5 seasons now, but I think the last one I watched all the way through, that Clean Rock one, ended
Yeah.
up winning. And he does like Americana style, so it's a little bit. It's not cartoony, but
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, yeah.
it is. It's not as photorealistic as some of the other stuff, but it's still fucking awesome.
that show got greedy because they had a formula that worked.
Yeah.
Let's just get 15, 16 people.
Yep.
Do tattoo competitions every week. The best one stays, the worst one leaves. And it worked. And also like Ink Master Rivals, Ink Master Battle of the Sexes.
Yeah,
it's like, and they just ruined it. It
That's
was like
networking.
Yeah,
that's
it's like
networks
just
going.
Whites versus blacks.
That's that, and we meant inks. We meant ink.
Only white inks and then only
Yeah,
black ink.
yeah.
That's all you can use.
a couple seasons before that, one dude got voted off who was probably one of the
Christian versus
best
Jew.
talents on that show because he didn't have a tattoo.
Crusades versus
And even
Islam.
even like Navarro and the other judges were like, "Yeah, man, like you're a great artist, but you don't got no ink." He's like, I just don't have any tattoos, but I do good, right?" And the dude was actually like the best tattoo artist on the show. And it was,
Yes,
when he doesn't have any,
he doesn't.
But he doesn't have a
doesn't
tattoo.
have a single
He-
tattoo.
it's like a painter. He
Well, you
just
don't.
wants-
Yeah, you don't have to have any.
Well, they voted him off because of it.
that's bull.
Did you ever watch that Lemmy doc where like the one chick that's interviewing, not the one that called Lemmy, but there's one before that.
Oh, okay.
And they go to his like crammed apartment, and it's like Lemmy's like, no offense, Mike, Lemmy singer motored. I think he'd have a place bigger than your house. Not at all.
no.
Lemmy has this little apartment, and all of a sudden she's like finding all this Nazi memorabilia and all this like Civil War shit, and she comes off like swastikas. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know you have to be a postman to be a stamp collector." I'm like, that's the best fucking thing you could have said.
Well, if you collect war items, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
you're supporting it. It's history.
They were busting his balls about the swastikas and stuff, and that's all he jumped on. I'm like, that's the best line you could drop at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, there are so many so many times that they've asked that he has been interviewed, and some of the shit that he says is so fucking awesome. And it's just so simple. And it's like, wow, it makes sense, right?
That might actually be my one band we were just talking about that I didn't appreciate till later on in life.
Yeah.
That I got into more, and I'm still not fully into them because they have so much goddamn material.
Yeah, right.
And let's be honest, there's not much variety in the Motorhead catalog.
There is not.
No, it's gun sheet metal. It's
Dude, it's
one
pretty. It's pretty standard. It's do 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 do.
And then I saw them live.
Orgasmatron's different than the rest of them.
Yeah, and that's the first time I saw him. 1990 was on the Ride the Orgasmatron tour at Harpo's.
I saw them live.
I was
just
17
one
years old.
time. Open for Megadeth at the Palace, and the volume difference between Motorhead and every band before them, like the two bands before them, and Megadeth was so drastic. It was so bad. And then the T-shirt says if it's too loud, you're too old, all that bullshit, like that corny stuff. But it's true.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. I saw him at. I was kind of a fan, but I wasn't a huge fan until I saw him at Harpo's, and I saw Lemmy on stage, and I don't really know how big of a man he was, but he looked like a fucking giant.
6'6".
Well, he was pretty tall, and they always wore He wore boots with have lifts in them.
Dude,
and a hat usually too.
To me,
I
he looked.
don't know. I was just
To me,
saying
he
that.
looked 8 foot tall. I mean, I'm 17 years old. I mean, my hair's bigger than the rest of my body.
And you
at
said
this
Harpo's
point.
too, right?
I think-
Yeah.
So you're looking at a stage that's also 10 feet fucking tall.
I think the scariest looking band, even there's usually like a satanic crazy bands are usually little fucking nerds. Deicide is believable because they're all huge.
Yeah.
They're like the whole band is fucking. Even their drummer, he's like in his 50s. He looks like a pro wrestler. He's not like ripped. He's just, I don't know, like a thick fucking Nordic looking guy, and they just look like they could beat the shit out of you.
They're very imposing.
What
They're
band?
scary people.
Deicide.
Okay.
And they're actually
They're a light rock band.
they're actual satanic rock.
Well, it's funny you were talking about
Of course
the
they don't
Misfits
believe
earlier.
in it.
There was one point where like Jerry Only and those guys were in WCW
Yeah.
Oh, I
wrestling.
remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Doyle
like-
showed up.
And I think Doyle's wife was with Macho Man for a minute or something.
Well, Doyle's
Like for real or like
Doyle's with the chick from my
kayfabe.
arch enemy.
yeah,
now.
Doyle's girlfriend is
No, back at that time, like Gorgeous George or something.
Oh,
was
that's
it?
his woman.
At the time it was, I believe
Yeah.
it was.
Oh, it might-
and then she
yeah.
was like Macho Man's valet just for the storylines of the
Gotcha.
WCW. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he's been with Elisa something.
Yeah,
or
the
other.
chick from Montreal. She's
She's from a band called Arch Enemy. She's got blue hair.
Yeah,
I
she-
love chicks with blue
It's
hair.
his girlfriend. She's from Canada. You've never met her.
No, never mind.
Yeah.
She's hot.
She goes to another school. You wouldn't know her.
You would know her.
She's hot.
Just the way you said it.
That's what I was thinking.
I got a thing for chicks with dyed blue hair.
I went to a Warp Tour one time with your guys' brother in Tinley Park, Illinois, and Misfits were on the Warp Tour at that time, and we were actually getting like
With
buddy.
Michael Graves.
Yeah, we were getting like buddy with like other bands that were there, and I was talking to the guys from Sum 41, and they're like, "Look at these fucking dorks!" And Misfits all had a total little gym set up behind the stage with like a bench press and like leg workouts and stuff like that. And the dudes from Sum 41 are just getting wasted, just laughing at them.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, if you take a look what the singer from Sum 41 looks like, he should have took some fitness tips from them.
He's 5
Yeah.
feet.
Well,
Is he really that little?
Yeah, he's really short.
like really, the only original member left is Jerry Only, and basically Doyle left the band. Essentially, he left the band because he's like, dude, when my brother decided he was just going to be the singer, that's when I left. Because he's like a born again Christian.
Yeah.
That's why he won't allow. He didn't even want to do. He did a few shows with Danzig, but he believes that Danzig is a full blown Satanist, and that's why he won't do any shows.
I believe
Who,
that Dan's
Only?
a full blown asshole.
yeah,
Not-
One of the best videos ever is him getting knocked the fuck.
dude,
out.
he's such an asshole. Yeah, he's such
Yeah.
an asshole.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I knew. The funny thing about that, because when they were touring with Guar, the Misfits,
Yeah.
and Jerry Only, like the Odorous made some joke about Jesus, and actually you figured Only would get mad. He's like, I can't help you in that department, man. He just shook his hand and left off.
Yeah.
He actually took it pretty well. But they're Guar and the Misfits used to come Halloween. They would come to Harpo's a lot.
Yeah. That was when Michael Graves was in the band.
Michael Graves is the best one, right?
Yeah, you got to tell that to Phil.
I know, that's
he
why I
gets
always
so
say it.
mad. Michael Graves, the true singer of the Misfits. Phil. He actually is a really good singer. It's just they were like,
They were a very different.
he has a different
Band.
style.
He's
it's
the
very-
Sammy Hagar.
But
Well,
band.
Glenn wrote a lot of the riffs and everything
yeah.
too, so it was just Glenn's style outright, the whole band.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
when Graves showed up, the other Doyle and Jerry had to write a lot of shit, so it was different. I do like that song "Scream" though.
Do you
I think it's a
remember
cool song.
when
Michael Jackson with Janet Jackson scream?
Yeah.
in space? Do you remember when Sum 41 came out? Everybody thought the singer was
Mickey Dolenz kid.
Yeah.
kid. And like I never really like put two and two together, and I was like, he fucking does look like him.
He
He
so
does
much
look
like
like
him.
him.
But
so
the,
much like
the
him.
ages didn't really add up for a minute there
It
either.
didn't.
Yeah.
No. And then he finally got pissed off and saying, "I'm not fucking Mickey Dolenz kid."
On that same Warp tour that we went to,
The
with, like
only,
the Misfits
the only
and Sum
kid I
41.
know of is his daughter, who's like about my age.
Amy Dolenz?
Yeah.
Amy with an I.
Yeah, she's like my age. I didn't know if he had any other kids.
No, it wasn't. It was just a rumor.
Yeah.
That
But he
his-
didn't look like him though.
He looked like him. Fuck yeah.
But the band Alien Ant Farm was getting really big at that time. They just came out and no one knew who they were, and they put out that movies and then the Smooth Criminal. It took off, and like that band was on the small stage, and they started like being like, we're bigger than this ship, like getting really crazy. And then the singer's like, he's kind of a weird dude to begin
Dryden?
with. Yeah. He's a good singer, and the band's awesome, but he's just kind of a weird cat. And he was like said something about like, they did the Smooth Criminal. He's like, this is for Michael Jackson. So what if he fucking fuck some kids? Blah blah blah. Like all the other bands, like get these guys off the tour. The only band that came to bat for them was like 311. Like they're actually good dudes. He just said something that all the guys like, all the punk bands like, get them out of here.
I remember like some movies came out first.
Yep.
Didn't do shit.
Nope.
Then Smooth Criminal came out.
And then they re-released
Re-released movies, a different video and stuff.
with Ghostbusters and
Yeah.
Karate Kid and all that.
And also it did okay.
They're another band that's like really talented, like songwriters. Like the music's good.
Mm-hmm.
They just could never get past the novelty of being like the Smooth
The
Criminal
Smooth
band.
Criminal guys, yeah.
Is-
And then weren't they not together for a while? Because he had like his back was like completely destroyed.
I don't know, but then I know it's some friends. Remember, like the Palace for the Pistons were doing like halftime shows.
Yeah.
That was the first time they'd been here in like 10 years. Was like Alien Ant Farm was playing the halftime of a Pistons game.
When they get 2.5 songs in?
Yeah, you
Dude,
get,
that was when they were trying to fucking put people in the seats.
What did Nugent and fucking Kid Rock turn it down?
no. At that point, they were doing all hip hop. It was like Naughty by Nature, like that kind of
yeah.
stuff. Like
Naughty by Nature would be fun.
Stilo.
That would be awesome.
But then,
Dude.
but then Alien Ant Farm was like the first rock band. But you know, when they signed that agreement, the venue's just like, or what's like, you're
Criminal.
playing Smooth Criminal and fucking movies or whatever, and then get the hell out of here.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah,
Sing and dance.
With that kind of shit, they're sitting there going, yeah, play that hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's a lot better than the stupid dunking off trampolines people they have go out there.
Oh, some of that shit's cool.
Or they have like the whole team
at
of them that do it.
halftime of the Lions game, they have like little kids play flag football.
Oh,
Yeah.
Remember
Oh
when they
God,
had
so annoying.
Nickelback play the Thanksgiving Day game?
And everybody tried to boycott.
Everybody tried to boycott.
So, like, what was a couple of years ago? The guy that was from here, Mike something or other, Mike Portis or
Big
Mike
Sean?
No, Mike.
It starts with a P.
Yeah,
Mike
Mike Portnoy.
It's not Mike Portnoy. I almost said that.
But it's something similar to that. But Mike Posner. Mike
Posner, yeah.
Yeah. They're like
Yeah, he's that Jewish kid from Southfield.
They're talking about like he's coming out. They're like the Mike Posner and the and oh man, I can't even remember the words they use. The incredible Mike Posner band or something like the legendary Mike Posner band. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
He's been out for a year. He's legendary.
And then, I looked him up, and he had been around for a while, but he's like kind of an indie rock kind of guy.
Yeah.
And then, like, when he came, people, like, apparently he was kind of clean cut before. When he came out to do the show, he had this beard and kind of froey hair. He hadn't cut it in a while. And oh my God, did his fans just totally, like, destroyed him.
Really?
Yes. Oh my God, look at him. He looks so disgusting. I'm like, dude, he didn't cut his hair or his beard, for a little while, People change their looks.
It was
you
still
know?
better than Nickelback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not listen to one. In fact, I muted through that whole thing, but
I actually watched it, and it was funny because most of the time, they'll, like if you watch the Thanksgiving game, the Dallas game, they always have somebody, and that person will be like 2.5 songs. They're playing, they got a whole show going on. It's like 10 minutes straight of shit. And Nickelback came out, and they did one song and like set their stuff down, and just they were gone. Nothing besides that. They're like, they knew nobody wanted them here. And they're like, nope, we'll see ya.
well, then yeah, and then then you have
just cash the check and
then you
left.
have the Mike Posner and the legendary Mike Posner band.
You know what? I like that, though. I wish I could do it. Like, the world's greatest band. I would just call my band that.
Yeah, and I was just like the legendary. I'm like,
So I got a question.
who are these people?
They're going to do a Super Bowl if the NFL season makes it to the end, obviously.
Yeah.
So the Super Bowl halftime show is almost bigger than the Super Bowl.
They're so bad now.
What are they going to do? Because honestly, for the last 2 years, me and my group of friends have been wanting to try to get a petition to have Weird Al be the halftime act.
That'd be
Hell
so.
yeah.
That would
awesome.
be and him just parody all the other fucking halftime acts.
You
Yeah.
could do 15 minutes of just a medley. I don't even care.
Pull his tit out, slide like Springsteen did when he slid his dick into that camera. Remember that?
Yeah.
He slid on his knees and went like 16 feet in that dude's camera.
Dress up like a Black Panther.
I'm telling you, my
The Left Shark with Katy Perry.
no, the wasn't last year. I think it was the year before when Maroon 5 and I don't know, Travis Scott or something.
Dude, that pissed me off.
It was so
Maroon
bad.
5.
It was so bad. They're doing a song. It's like, man, this is really bad. And Adam Levine's like, I gotta save this show, and he just takes off his shirt like it's gonna save the show.
And he had a tattoo of every sticker I would buy at a bowling alley from
Yeah.
the 50-cent machine on his body.
So yeah, I'd like to see Weird Al do a parody of all that shit. Why not? Yeah. Was it the Super Bowl where Fergie peed herself, or was that a different show?
It wasn't the Super Bowl.
Okay, never mind.
No,
Just
it was
show.
the guy from NSYNC when they did it with Aerosmith and Britney Spears peed himself. The pineapple head.
For real?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Last year was J-Lo, right? And Shakira.
I didn't watch that either.
Yeah. I watched Shakira play guitar. I was actually
They should have just scissored on stage for fucking 15 minutes.
I watched her
That's
play
pretty.
guitar.
It came pretty close to that.
I watched her play the guitar because
They're only a step or
she's
two.
actually pretty good at playing.
Just have Weird Al come out there and
But
do
yeah.
like a medley of hits from like 15 minutes. It'd be the best halftime show ever.
It's funny because they're always trying to chase like I don't know if it's the NFL or the networks are trying to chase like that casual viewer,
Yeah.
and it doesn't seem like it works. It feels like people just
Why
watch
do they
the
need a
spectacle.
casual viewer? Everybody watches it anyway.
No,
I
but
don't understand
that's
it.
my point though. It's like you're getting someone to watch the one thing that your sport is not about.
Yeah.
So they watch for the halftime and then they don't go watch something else after. It makes no fucking.
I don't get it.
We've talked about the same thing with WWE. They're always chasing the casual viewer, so they bring in like celebrities like Michael Strahan. So someone who's a fan of Michael Strahan watches the 5 minutes he's on your show and
Yeah.
then changes the channel immediately after he's off,
Right.
and they never watch wrestling again.
Hugh Jackman just punched him.
Yeah, it makes no. I don't get the obsession.
I don't
for
know.
that.
well,
get it.
it's funny we were talking about Bill Burr because he had his view. He's a sports nut. He loves all
Yeah.
sports, but they were talking about this. One of the clips was the Super Bowl, and he says, he goes, I record it. I don't go to Super Bowl parties. He's like, why not? He goes, I don't. Well, he goes, I don't want to be around all those people. Like, oh, did you watch this commercial? Let's watch this commercial. And then the stupid halftime shows that are so stupid now. He goes, I just wait. I don't let anybody call me and tell me the outcome of the game. He goes, and then when it's over, then I watch it. He's like, and he just he fast forwards through
Well,
every.
that's the other thing. People are always like, oh, I was watching for commercials. Why? They release every fucking commercial that's on it
Yeah.
like 3 days beforehand.
The
Yeah,
one
but you
year
don't
that-
see it when it debuts, man.
No, you do because it's out first on the internet, and then you watch it, and you don't have to watch it during the game.
Or you get mad and you think that they're making a fucking Crocodile Dundee movie with Danny McBride.
That pissed
and
me
it
off.
turns out it was just a goddamn travel advertising for Australia.
pissed me off. I was so ready for that movie.
Yeah, because it looked like it was going to be fucking funny.
What was remember the Tom Brady one too? There was a Tom Brady one that people like. It looked like he was talking about switching teams or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that
And
was
it
about
was
gay
for
stuff.
it was
That
for
was about gay
fucking
stuff.
Yeah.
It was for fucking Hulu
Butt
or some
stuff.
shit. It was for Hulu or something.
It was for Hulu, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were starting their live TV thing.
Yeah, and then the next year, he left and went to
The one year that the
went to
halftime
Tampa
show
Bay.
really, really rubbed me the wrong way was they had Bruno Mars. And at the time, Bruno Mars was huge. That's fine. He's as good as anybody you're going to get for what you're doing.
I think he's entertaining.
But then they
sometimes.
threw on the Chili Peppers with them, and they made it sound like the Chili Peppers were just a backing band that haven't existed for about 35 fucking years.
They're trying to get two different demographics there.
They do that shit. They've done that shit a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
They've done that shit a lot where they bring on somebody else and it's like, what are you like, bringing them back on like you're trying to make them relevant again because they never left.
And I'm not a
Britney
huge
Spears and
Chili Pepper fan.
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
They've merged them two worlds.
Britney Spears and the Aerosmiths.
Yeah, it's in the Aerosmith.
I didn't say Smiths. I said Smith.
I know.
No, I'm saying as like it's her backing band.
Yeah, and the Aerosmith.
Yeah, he's making fun of Aerosmith.
Britney Smear in the
Britney Smears. That'd be a good porn star name.
Britney Pap smears.
Britney Smears.
Smears.
It's terrible.
Or Britney Smears. She's a Jewish.
Britney Smears tonight on Larry
Oy
King.
vey.
It's Oy vey. It's Britney Smears and the Aerosmith.
Wow.
Britney Smears.
That's terrible.
One of you guys shared something from like a screenshot. I think it was either in the group that I'm in with you guys or another group where it was like MacGyver. I was like, that is the best fucking username ever. But I also seen Rebecca Romaine Lettuce. I was like, that's the other greatest one ever.
Rebecca Romaine late. Well, he's Ayatollah Romaine Stamos.
Okay.
That's kind of a play on when she was Rebecca Romaine Stamos.
Okay. But yeah, I've seen Rebecca Romaine Lettuce and MacGyver.
MacGyver's great.
MacGyver.
Yeah, MEH Guyver.
Oh, Mac.
I'm like MacGyver.
MacGyver.
I'm like, that's a great fucking username.
Yeah, Morgan's Adult Hitler.
Yes.
Adult.
Hey, I also forgot. Happy World Mental Health Day.
Oh, it
guys.
is.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, actually, is it still?
I know it's over.
It's over. Never mind. Fuck,
What happened?
Fuck mental health.
Fuck mental health.
Oh, you can go
It was
hang
World
yourself.
Mental Health Day. Happy
Yesterday.
World Mental
You can
Health
go back
Day.
to being depressed
Yeah,
and
so
feel
I
and
kill myself today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're fine now. If you're
Yeah.
going to do the off
Yes.
yourself,
Yeah.
it's good because it's after midnight.
go ahead and have that
Yesterday,
panic attack. It's over.
I wanted to talk to you about something. I don't think they've watched it yet, but you posted it, but I had seen it before or I'd heard about it before.
What's that?
Fucking Fat Man.
Oh, yeah.
The Mel Gibson Santa Claus movie.
Dude.
Oh, I saw some
Yeah.
article about it.
When that was described to me, I was thinking in my mind it was going to be like
The Kurt Russell Christmas Chronicles on Netflix.
or Tim Allen one.
Oh, the Santa
I
Claus?
thought it was going to be bullshit. No, this
No.
is hard R. This is hard
Hard
R.
R. Some kid's pissed
Yeah.
off because he gets fucking coal and hires a hitman,
Walt Goggins.
Walton Goggins,
Yeah.
to kill Santa Claus, and Santa Claus ain't having none of that shit.
And then my buddy Steve was like, Walt Goggins lets off a real serious Steve Buscemi Fargo vibe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you know what's funny? They just opened theaters yesterday.
So it did already. Okay.
No, that's not out yet. But the
Oh.
movie theaters in Michigan, I think, just opened yesterday.
yeah,
Oh,
I was
okay.
going to say something about
That's
that
going
too.
to be probably my first movie in the theater. Is this?
But
Yeah,
it looks, if you get a chance to watch that trailer for Fat Man, do it because at first you're watching, you're like, this is a fucking joke, right?
Yeah,
and then you
like
keep
I
on going,
tried
you're like,
to.
no,
I read
this
the
is real.
article and I tried to watch the trailer and they had it in the article, but I couldn't get it to
It's
come
got
on.
a real similar vibe to me from the movie Shoot 'Em Up with Clive Owen
Yeah.
and Paul Giamatti, which I fucking love that movie.
Love, shoot him up.
The best part of that movie is the whole point of it is supposed to be Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam.
Yeah.
So Clive Owen's supposed to be Bugs Bunny, and Paul Giamatti's a hybrid of Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam. And once you know that, it makes the movie even more enjoyable.
Just the part where they're like
carrots?
gunfighting while they're flying through the fucking air, jumping out of a plane and shit.
Or
Dude,
he's like-
I'm-
or
The whole movie.
He rigs that whole little maze to pull strings.
Yeah.
Pull the triggers of the guns that somehow hit the dudes immediately, or
Yeah.
just the bullet lodged in his hand that he puts in a fireplace. So say like I want to kill you and you've been fucking with me. I put my hand in the fireplace with a bullet and it shoots out at you.
It's so over the top and stupid. It's fucking awesome.
And what's her name is so hot in that movie.
what's her name?
Monica Bellucci.
Oh, Monica Bellucci. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
always hot.
She's a good looking woman.
She's way hot.
She's like late 50s and she's still
that
I remember that one movie she got brutally raped in it. It was
Yeah, that was hot.
Oh, it was hot.
Sounds
It was
hot.
so hot.
And then there was a
Matrix 3.
Then she was in some movie about a beast chasing people around France, and then it was just a lion and armor.
Brutally raping her.
No, she wasn't raped by the
Oh,
lion.
that she wasn't late rape, but okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen
Oh,
anything
yeah, that's
she's
lion
in.
rape.
I've actually never seen anything she's in. I just know that she's
It's the same
hot.
movie. Wasn't that the Van Damme one, Lion Rape?
Lion Rape, yeah.
It was Time Cop,
Time Cop. That's the one I was thinking of. Yes.
Yeah.
Slime Cop.
But Fat Man, if you get a chance, if you haven't watched the trailer, watch it.
Well,
and
I read the article and I tried to watch that trailer that had, but it wouldn't let me. I was at work.
The other best part is they made no effort to make Mel Gibson look like Santa Claus.
he has a beard, and there's some white in it.
But that's what he looks like now
it's
anyway.
just him. Yeah.
yeah, it just looks like him, but it's like
He's looked like Osama bin Laden for about 8 years now.
And I know there's obvious he has some issues with people of different backgrounds. Obviously,
They killed Christ.
those ones.
yeah.
I fucking love his movies. I don't care.
He's doing.
love Mel
he's-
Gibson.
I love Mel Gibson.
I heard he's making The Passion Part 2.
Is he?
They're also supposed to make Lethal Weapon 5 officially.
I didn't know that there was
I'm worried
a
about that.
sequel to that.
Yeah, they're making a
That's
sequel.
what I was like. I heard.
But like Hacksaw Ridge and a bunch of he directed Hacksaw Ridge.
Him as the villain in Machete 2.
Yep.
Holy shit. And that's what they need to focus on because Danny Trejo, I think he's going to be one of the next one to go. I'm not going to lie.
He's mid-70s, man.
yeah,
He's old.
and he's had a rough life.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys I could just see like we don't.
Well, he did Serious Time, like long.
yeah, a long time ago though.
Yeah, but I mean, he did like quite a bit of time. He was like, 'cause that's what I mean. That's how I know he's a lot older than.
And he makes bread animals
No,
now.
he was training with Arnold and Franco Columbo. Like that's how long ago he was.
Wow.
No, he's
Robbing
literally
around.
he's like 76. He's really old.
Yeah.
But those Machete movies, so
They
good.
never made it in space, did they?
Well, that would be what the third one was because
Okay.
Mel Gibson kind of turns into a spoiler alert if anybody hasn't.
We don't want to ruin Machete 2 for you.
He turns into Darth Vader essentially at the end of that, and then it's going to space.
yeah. It's
but-
so over the top.
But
I
Trejo's
love
one of
it.
those guys where we're going to hear about him dying sooner than later. We'll be like, oh, him
Or
too.
he'll live to be 100.
I don't see it.
I don't know if he's
got
acting.
his face is pretty catcher's mitted up.
Yeah, it's messed up.
pretty,
That's a pretty good way of putting it.
Yeah, I like the whole like thought of like Gibson, like how he looks now, just like having him as like a character and like a actor in a lot of things.
He really went like a really weird career path because at one point, like in the late 90s, he was like the world's sexiest man.
Oh, yeah.
And then he became the world's most repulsive man.
Yeah, and all it took was being pulled over and.
But me and Mike have talked about him
Sugar
before because
tits.
if you watch his movies, especially like the Lethal Weapon on until like the mid 90s, even a little bit in the late 90s, if you're making a movie and you need an actor to look absolutely like their heart's been ripped out and distraught, fucking Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Like imagine like when like someone dies, like his wife dies and he's going to kill him, trying to kill himself in the first Lethal Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
He looks so distraught.
Yeah, no one looks
like
better.
for real distraught though.
Yeah, no one looks more crushed than Mel Gibson.
He just
when he's
I don't know
crushed.
what it is about him.
I need to rewatch Braveheart too. It's been a minute.
That's one of the
It's
ones.
been about 15 years for me.
Yeah, it's
Even
probably
in
same.
even in Signs, when his kid like had an asthma attack, he did the crushed look.
Signs is amazing. That whole speech he gives to Joaquin Phoenix about like whatever you feel about religion or miracles is right. Like if you feel that's the right thing, then it's the right thing. If you don't feel that whole speech he gives is like fucking amazing. That movie.
Yeah,
I like that movie.
Yeah, I
Well,
like
nobody can say that he's not a great actor because he fucking
No.
is.
Like,
Yeah,
you-
sure.
again,
a
you
lot
have
of
to,
talented people are batshit
You have to
crazy.
separate
Yeah.
the crazy from the art or the
I
piece
think,
of shit
I
from
think
the
your
art.
brother said this in the chat when I showed that thing. Like on the whole spectrum of Hollywood crazy, what Mel Gibson has done is pretty fucking low on
Yeah.
the pole.
Obviously, he had a problem with some Jewish people.
There's a-
and then also he went crazy on his
Well,
girlfriend.
it's the
on-
problem.
also
It's the
owns
problem
Malibu.
if you have a problem with Jewish people. That's going to be your producers and everybody. That
Yeah, that's
it's people you work-
It
it's
might
the
be a
people
big
you work
problem,
for.
and it might be a big problem.
So
in
if you're just
Hollywood.
like if you're kind of just a drug addict loser, well, at least, no, he didn't say anything about us.
yeah,
See,
yeah,
Mel-
they'll
Mel
just be
Gibson-
like, well, we'll just keep paying these exorbitant insurance rates so that we
Yeah.
can keep hiring.
it's
them.
pretty widely known that Mel Gibson used to drink a lot.
Yeah,
He was an alcoholic.
Get out of here.
Mel Gibson, who when he's on the wagon, has helped people out. He like Robert Downey Jr. has said before, he wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mel.
Oh,
Gibson.
yeah.
yeah.
But Mel Gibson, when he falls off the wagon, he falls hard.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah,
But it's like-
he turns into Adolf Hitler.
Well,
And, I mean, that message that he left on his girlfriends at the times, answering machine
Or the,
is
the
fucking nuts.
female cop he was pulled over and he started talking about how he owns Malibu now.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty good too.
So yeah, just stay on the wagon, Mel, and you're fine. Just do it.
I kind of like dangerous Mel.
He's one of those
He can
people
be
that
dangerous
can
without
never
being
touch.
drunk, though.
He just can't touch alcohol ever again.
What?
Just don't go anywhere.
Why
near
are
it.
they doing Lethal Weapon 5?
Money.
Yeah, but who's gonna? It's not.
It's going to be Mel Gibson and Danny
It'll
Glover.
be both of them.
And Chris Rock and Joe Pesci and Renee Russo.
After seeing The Irishman, I think Joe Pesci's got a couple months left too.
They'll find a way.
CGI Joe Pesci.
Dude, wait.
What
so you're
Leo
gonna
wants,
have-
Leo gets.
So you're gonna have Murtaugh coming back.
He was too old for that shit.
He was too
40
old for
years
that
ago.
shit 35 years ago. He was too old for that shit. And
To go full circle, Danny Glover did 2 movies with Danny Trejo.
Badasses.
Badasses that are they're so bad they're not even funny.
I watched all of them. Like the one without Danny Glover. There was Danny Trejo did one, and it was just him.
Yeah.
And then the next ones had, and like, man, they were bad.
It was you wanted it to be funny, right? You wanted to like
Yeah.
it. And it was unwatchable.
Well, I still ended up watching them.
But see,
so they
like,
weren't completely
all
unwatchable. But
Danny Glover is probably about the same age as Trejo.
he's got to be 89. Let's see.
I would imagine
74.
Okay, see, he's in his 70s. He's retired. He was retired in the last Lethal Weapon. What?
No, he was about to.
In the first one, wasn't he?
He was
wasn't
retiring in the first or second one.
He's a full 10 years
30,
older.
what, 38 years ago or something?
Yes.
The first Lethal Weapon was 33 years ago.
So how? All
Mel
right.
Gibson is 10 years younger than him.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Wait, how old's Mel Gibson?
64.
The fight
Yeah.
with Gary Busey.
Ooh,
is
Mel
amazing.
Gibson looks like a rough 64.
You think so?
Now that with the beard and stuff, yeah.
Like,
If he cleaned up,
he's pretty jacked because he goes to that TRT clinic in Malibu.
which he owns, by the way.
I heard
Malibu.
I heard you say something about Gary Busey.
Oh, that fight scene in
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
fucking,
On the first Lethal Weapon.
yeah, it's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
Speaking about Busey, could we just appreciate the villainous Busey and Tommy Lee Jones in Under Siege?
Love it.
The greatest.
I didn't have access to the captain's files at that time.
Still, it's my biggest regret in life is that sounds that bad.
I can get it off if it's on YouTube.
Just
I can
get it. Yeah.
That Gary Busey, Tommy Lee Jones, Under Siege.
What is that?
That was Vince Neil at the Ozfest 83.
Vince Neil.
Those two are such creeps in that movie.
Oh, and Under Siege?
Yeah.
I love Under Siege.
I did too.
Me too.
I actually like Under Siege 2 a lot, too, but I love Under Siege.
I never saw that one. But I
You mean Under Siege also?
I mean, Under Siege 2.
Dark
I mean,
Territory.
You had
Tertiary.
Gary Busey.
Yeah,
You
Territory.
had,
Morris Chestnut.
you had Tommy Lee Jones. You have Steven Seagal. You have
Yep.
Erica Liniak coming out of a cake.
Yeah.
Also,
Fantastic.
Busey's son
Justices.
is turning into him real quick.
Yeah. Oh, what did I just see him in?
He's still doing.
I just
As
saw
long
him
as he
in
doesn't
something.
get a closed head injury.
In
he
that
could be
really
okay.
bad Predator movie,
No. Something like super recent, like this week.
Roadhouse 2.
I'm going to let you know what it was in just a second.
There's
No, they made a Roadhouse sequel.
Yeah, with Jake Busey.
Jake Busey and the guy from That Thing You Do. Jonathan Shea.
Tom Hanks.
Kidding me?
No, the lead singer of The Wonders.
Yes.
Jonathan.
The one.
The Oneaters.
The
The
Oneaters.
Oneaters.
Sorry, the Oneaters. They're playing that Italian joint out
love that
by
movie.
the airport, Villa Pianos.
I love that movie though.
I love That Thing You Do.
I
It is a
love
great
that
movie.
It's so
you ever
great.
seen the director's cut?
Tom Hanks directed that, right?
Yeah, but it's a half hour longer
No.
and it explores more of. He's gay in that movie.
Who?
Tom Hanks.
Is he?
Him and Howie Long are a couple in it.
I guess I never paid attention.
Well, because you would have seen it because of
Howie
only the director's
Long,
cut.
Only the director's
former
cut.
Raider.
Yeah, the Howie Long. He plays his boyfriend in it,
That's a good gay name.
and they're all like,
Howie Long.
and the
He
one
wasn't
guy
in the movie though.
he was in director's cut.
Oh.
Yeah. But there's a thing. They're like,
Oneaters.
here's a director's
it's just
cut.
half hour extra of gay footage.
No, there's
like,
more
here.
than that. There's more music and stuff. But
There's 30 minutes
you
of
can-
gay hardcore sex.
it's definitely an NC-17 movie. But you can see the difference. Like they're like director's cut. They threw scenes back in, but they weren't like no filter or anything. So you can see the difference in film quality, and then it goes back to good film quality and back and forth. So you're better off watching the original. I just wanted to see the director's cut at one
You're
point.
just like, so what are you gonna get out of the extra 30 minutes of the thing
There's more-
you do?
there's
You're
more
gonna
gay in
get,
it.
You're gonna get Tom Hanks and Howie Long doing butt sex.
Tom Ganks.
And here's the twist on that. Howie Long's the bottom.
That is a twist.
Anyways, Jake Busey was in something I just saw. And I'm going to tell you what it is real soon.
How did they fuck up that Predator movie so bad?
Oh, no, he's in the Predator game. Like, he's in the game. I forgot about that.
Predator, like they redid Predator.
They didn't redo it. They made another sequel to it with Shane Black directed it, which was actually in the original Predator.
He wrote the first one.
Yeah, and it sucked really hard.
Yeah, the best part was
Well-
Thomas Jane and Tourette's.
He put
Yeah, how do you get like
Hey, pussy.
Oh, we were talking about that before. Like, characters from movies that
Yeah.
are like not main characters that you fucking love, and fucking Todd from Boogie Nights
Yeah.
Todd from Boogie Nights.
is probably my favorite.
We probably talk about Boogie Nights way more than anybody in the world ever has.
It's literally my number one favorite movie of all time.
It's fantastic. But Todd is my favorite fucking part of that movie.
That
Yes.
was great.
When you talk about the carpet dope,
The carpet dope. Just walking into the fucking party for the first time. The first time you see Todd is one of my favorite things ever. I laugh every time I see his
because he
stupid
says the
face.
specifics of the car and he's so excited about it.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. I'm not a
I don't
car
remember
guy.
any of it.
Yeah.
I remember him having a crooked
And he-
smile and
he's
his
like,
mustache.
Ooh. After he says about the car.
God.
But what about when like he's like all fucking drugged out and he's like, hey.
The movie is about Dirk Diggler's dick, but Thomas Jane, Todd, steals the fucking show.
We want the goddamn safe that's in the goddamn master bedroom and the goddamn floor safe in the master bedroom. Like he's just so fucking whacked out of his mind at that point.
It's
Your wife's on.
yeah, I think her friend just went home. She had a friend.
Oh, so you couldn't listen when your friend.
They could have
was
listened. They were probably just watching like Hocus Pocus or something.
Hocus Pocus.
I don't know. They're just making
What kind of Hocus Pocus shit is
It's
that?
hard line.
But yeah, like the Todd character, you've always appreciated that. Like for the longest time since we've like known each other, we talked about that.
Yeah.
But like when he's fucking like
I love the music they make. I love Dirk and Reed and the music they make.
Oh,
well, the one song is from Transformers.
that, but yeah, but
we will rock you.
Feel My Heat.
Yeah.
Love Feel My Heat. But yeah, the one from the Transformers, would they pretend like they?
You got the touch.
That shit killed me.
oh, dude, it's so great.
It's just his singing.
When they're trying to get the tapes back from them, oh, we need to, like,
Yeah,
give us the money, and they're like, oh,
He's like, that's a YP. He's like, what do you got, YP? He's like, your problem. The fucking producer's so cool and collected about it.
The part where I love stuff that's like you're not expecting to happen. When it happens, you're like, what the fuck just happened? Like Don Cheadle in a fucking donut shop.
Yep.
It's like, and all of a sudden everybody's just dead, and you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, that's my all-time number one favorite movie. It's been for probably 20 years.
Love it.
Another thing too is like I like weird things from movies that I could like obtain. So I always wanted that picture that it's at the end in the back hallway of William H. Macy's character. You
The one
what
that's
I'm talking
behind him before he shoots his head off.
about? Well, no, it's the picture of him.
Oh.
As like at the end of the movie where it's like memorial to him.
Oh
Yeah.
His
yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just happens to be in Burt Reynolds' house.
He had Florence Henderson Brady Bunch hair in that movie.
My wife has a fucking ass in her cock, like in the driveway.
Not cocking her ass.
She had an ass in her cock ass.
and of course, that's one of my favorite porn stars of all time,
Who's that?
Nina Hartley, dude.
Oh, you mean in the movie? Okay,
Yes.
yeah. But she plays herself. She plays a porn star.
She plays somebody else, but she's Nina Hartley.
What about the Colonel? Jack, are you my friend? Are you my friend, Jack? Jack, are you my friend?
That's one of the parts Mike always brings up is when he's actually in jail and stuff and gets busted. But oh God, I love the movie. I need to watch it.
It's so
Are my
great.
kids old enough for that? No,
Shouldn't be doing stuff like
May I
this.
see?
I just love it so much.
Another one of my favorite, like we talk about, like characters from a movie that's not a main character is Chris Pine in Smoking Aces.
I've only seen that once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I loved it,
the
and I
Tremor
never watched it
Brothers?
again. Yeah, I know.
That's another one to rewatch because it's also like a 90-minute movie.
It's so short.
It's just all about just bounty hunters going after one douchebag. That yeah,
They had that awesome sequel too.
never watched the sequel.
I didn't
want
either.
to ruin it. But Smoking Aces is another one of my favorite movies. Probably like that movie's so good.
I like movies that are just fun and just there's like
Colorful characters.
there's nothing deep about it.
Nah.
the Marky Mark one from like 97, the big hit. Him, Lou Diamond Phillips. They're all hitmen.
Oh.
Working with somebody. It was John Woo produced it. So there's a bunch of stupid
I vaguely
action.
remember that.
It sucked, but I loved it because it was just like so over the top.
Is that Patricia Arquette in that too, or no?
No, I think Christina Applegate's in it. She plays his
Christina
girlfriend.
Applegate? Okay.
And then the black guy from Deep Space Nine is their boss.
I wouldn't remember this.
Avery Brooks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hawk.
Captain.
Yeah.
Captain Benjamin Sisko from Deep Space Nine.
Captain.
Oh, you guys, I think if anybody here, I don't know about you, but maybe Mike, you've watched the original Star Trek.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not a Star Trek nerd or anything.
No, I watched it as a kid on black and white TV.
I hated it. I absolutely hated the original Star Trek when I was a kid.
It's real campy and the fact
With Shatner and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never watched it. I watched Next Generation with my dad and stuff.
Next Generation I watch way more with my
it's
sister.
a good show. Original one's on Netflix now. Okay? And I've been watching the shit out of it because I've never seen them. And actually, they're pretty good.
My dad always loved it, so I always had it on the background, but never like was drawn to it.
But the thing I was always told was like, yeah, the special effects, they're campy and they suck and stuff. So I started watching it, and they're showing like the Enterprise going through space and like a shuttlecraft and all this stuff. I'm like, these special effects look really good. What the fuck? People were wrong about this.
it actually kind of looks better than Star Wars did.
5 years ago, they went through the whole back catalog and added special effects to Star Trek. So with stuff I'm watching, I'm thinking, oh, this stuff looks great for 1966. This is fucking awesome. They fucking tricked me.
Oh, okay.
Assholes.
This is 2015 special effects.
Yeah.
Because there's certain scenes where you see like a shuttlecraft coming in, it's fucking cardboard. But then other stuff where like leaving the craft, it's like it's all sleek and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? I had to look it up.
I'm always really impressed by like miniatures,
But man,
and how they're filmed too. But like they did it with Star Trek and Star Wars,
Yeah.
with, like the Star Destroyers and shit like that. But it's like,
yeah,
how they film that to make it look not like it's a fucking miniature.
I know.
Like my brain doesn't like work that way.
See, and here's another thing I don't have a problem with, but one thing I've noticed, like if I watched like Independence Day, when the part where they finally open up the beams and they're destroying the city and like fire and everything, taking everything out, I watched the making of that before I ever saw it, and now when I watch the movie, I can see where what were miniatures and stuff because I've watched the making of. So I'm like seeing it, like it looks all awesome. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, that's a fucking miniature, and I can tell now.
Did you ever see that weird photography you can do where you can shoot something that's real but make it look like it's miniatures? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, you can shoot like an actual town, like the camera. It's like all like camera tricks and stuff like that where you can make it where it looks like it's miniatures.
No, I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, I'll have to show that to you. It's fucking crazy.
I've seen where they've taken like G.I. Joes and make it look like it's a realistic scene. And
like,
stuff.
you ever see the
That's the
Social Network?
Yes.
There's a scene in that where they like cut to the rowing team and there's like the whole college scene.
Oh, Army Hammer and Army Hammer, both of them.
Yeah, but they make it look like
Wait, what?
miniatures, but it's like the scenery looks like miniatures, but it's not. It's like the way you shoot it with lighting. It's fucking weird.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I'll have to look
Social Network. It's based on Facebook,
Yeah.
and Army Hammer plays the Winklevoss twins, who are the guys that helped him start it, but he gave him no credit for.
It's actually a really good movie.
It is a good movie, but yeah, he plays both roles, both Winklevoss twins.
Winklevi.
The Winklevi, yes. But
Hence Army Hammer and Army Hammer.
Army Hammer. and
That's
Army.
his real name too.
It is.
Yeah.
Like someone tried to tell me, he's like, no, he's the heir to the Armand Hammer fortune, and the guy who started Armand Hammer name was Armand Hammer.
Yeah.
And someone tried to convince me that was his name. I'm like, no, I don't think that's right, man.
No.
It's just Army Hammer.
His name's literally Army Hammer.
That's a guy who I've seen in a few things, and I like him, but you would think he's very good looking. And I don't usually judge guys. He's a good looking man, and he's in good shape and stuff. It's like you would think he'd be in more stuff.
I don't think he's a great actor, maybe.
I mean, he's okay.
Remember when they did the Lone Ranger movie and he was the Lone Ranger?
He's better than Johnny Depp.
But Johnny Depp was the only person that got really billed in that movie.
That's true.
Tonto, which was like the sidekick.
I ended up liking that movie.
Did you?
It was too long,
I
by
heard
like half an hour.
It only got made because at that point, Johnny Depp had been doing the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, which are great. He's great as Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
They were like, we need to do something that kind of like this, but not this. They're like, let's have him play a Native American.
I ended up liking it, but it was way too fucking long, way too long. But I was gonna ask you another question, and I just lost it. So
Certain things just don't need to be made into movies.
they
Lone
probably
Ranger-
did it so they could keep the rights. That's what they do a lot.
Oh.
You know,
I'm still waiting for the Clue remake because that could be awesome. And originally it was going to be from the same director, that Gore Verbinski, that did the Pirates movies, and that would be a good tone.
Is that why you brought up the lady from Clue looking like absolute ass right now?
No, and my one buddy Dre is so mad at me. He's like, "Why'd you have to show me that?"
You've seen Clue with Tim Curry back in the day?
Yeah.
The hot ass maid.
Remember the maid?
Yeah, she was hot.
She looks like dog shit.
She looks like,
But she's 70 years old.
yeah,
you know?
but she looks really bad.
She was in a bunch of stuff.
A real rough 70.
She was in Wayne's World a couple years after that. She played
Police
Noah's
Academy.
She was in Police Academy?
I think she's Tackleberry's wife.
Okay.
I think.
She was in Die Hard with a Vengeance. She was the lady cop.
But she looks
So bad.
so bad.
So bad, so bloated.
It looks like Austin Powers in drag, about 300 pounds.
Oh man, it was bad.
But yeah, the maid in Clue was always so hot.
She was. And like to find out,
Yvette?
and when I finally saw Die Hard with a Vengeance, I'm like, that's the same lady?
Damn, I didn't know the girl that played the lady that played Mrs. White died in 1999.
No, Mrs. White. Oh, that was Madeline Kahn, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Had
She
no
died pretty
idea.
young.
Oh yeah,
She was a nice looking woman too.
And I didn't know till way, way, way fucking later that Martin Mull was Colonel Mustard because I never had seen him without the lower facial hair. He only had the mustache in the movie.
Oh yeah. And he ended up having that for a couple of years when he was on Roseanne though.
I didn't watch Roseanne till way fucking later.
Didn't he play like Leo, the gay guy?
Yeah, Leon. Yeah.
Leon.
Yeah.
Leon.
The gay. Leon the gay.
The gay.
Sounds like a bad night. Leon the gay.
Wasn't that wasn't
boss
that
at the
the
mall.
original name of The Professional? Like when it was released in France, was Leon the Gay? No, it was just Leon. It was Leon the Professional.
Yeah, they redo Clue. They could do it two ways. You make it like not fun and super serious, like a mystery movie.
I would hate it.
Depends.
I don't know. That's what I love about the movie.
I like the kind of slapstick humor.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, I heard Ryan Reynolds is producing it, so it's probably going to
It's
go
probably
that
gonna
route.
be comedy to
it's not going to be. Yeah,
It's not. Oh yeah. It's
Not with Ryan Reynolds.
Did you know that when that movie came out, when the theaters received their reel,
You didn't know what ending you were
they
gonna
didn't know what ending they got.
Yeah.
There was 3 different endings. That's why when you see it now and it shows you all 3 endings, because each theater had a different ending.
Which is awesome.
It's awesome.
It's a really good movie.
But isn't the official ending with Curry did it really? All
That was the
along?
official, yeah. But they just kind of put them all together.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I spoiled a 30.
Oh no!
But the but the maid though.
She's really bad looking now. That's all. That was the main point.
Yeah, Colleen Camp.
Colleen Camp.
Yeah. Well, she's actually been kind of wiped out for a while, dude.
Yeah, like I said, I saw her. She was in Die Hard with a Vengeance. That was 10 years later, and it was already like, whoa, what the hell happened to the maid?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been like 20 years. She's
Yvette.
probably looked- yeah,
She was Yvette the maid.
Yvette the maid. Yeah.
I don't know
But-
who she plays.
Who?
She's also in American Hustle, which, hang on.
She's also an American with Jennifer Lawrence.
She's in American Hustle, the movie with like Christian Bale and Jennifer Lawrence. She's credited in that, and I can't tell you who she plays, but I watched that movie probably 5 times in the past month. It's been on like IFC and like
the maid
twice.
from Clue.
Yeah, like Colleen
was in
Camp.
that?
She's in that movie, but I don't know who the fuck she plays. If you go on her IMDb, it shows her as in American Hustle.
I've never seen American Hustle.
It's fucking great.
Oh, I never seen.
It's very much like Boogie Nights.
Oh, it looked.
I thought it was a heist movie.
It kind of is, but the way
It
it's
looked
like,
kind of like it was going to be something like Boogie Nights type.
It's
when I
ve-
saw the previous,
it's very character heavy, and every person in that movie, like Bradley Cooper, Jeremy Renner, Bale, they just knock it out of the park. Louis C.K. has a great fucking like
Masturbation
small
scene.
part as Bradley Cooper's boss.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Is he the one that whacked off in a plant?
That's Weinstein, I think.
Or
Right?
Weinstein?
No, he was one that liked watch.
Or he just made him watch.
He
Yeah,
made
that
him
was
watch.
it.
Yeah,
yeah.
which isn't that bad.
We've all
Dude,
done that.
his stand up though, man, dude, he's so fucking funny. Louis
Oh, yeah.
C.K.
You can be a creep and still be funny.
Yeah,
He's kind of in a rough spot though, man, because like I don't think he'll ever recover fully.
Yeah.
Even it doesn't matter how funny he is, because if he doesn't address the shit that we know about him now, he's gonna be looked at as like a chicken shit.
Yeah.
But if he does address it, he'll be looked at as not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no winning for him.
Yeah, what you can do is not whack off in front of women that don't want that. That is an option.
Well, there's no time machines, I'm saying.
Yeah, but then how,
It's like
how are you supposed to get off then?
like yeah, like I don't know, like he may end up having some, like he's not going to be like some of these guys are never going to have a career.
Well,
again.
he didn't.
I don't believe Kevin Spacey will ever have a career again.
No, and he probably shouldn't.
Well, he's
Yeah.
what he did
He's
was
a straight up a
what he did.
pedophile.
Yeah, what he did was light years worse.
Yeah, you know,
I mean-
and like and nobody really even knew, and then all of a sudden it's like it was more than one person that came out, and I mean, like he's straight up, he's a pedophile. I mean, he went after, he preyed on fucking teenage boys.
Louis is creepy, but it's not
Yeah.
the same level of creep.
Yeah,
No,
he's like dirty old man, you know.
It actually
fucking-
feels more sad
Yeah.
than creepy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to use your power for something like that, just have him blow you or something.
Yeah.
Not that that's right either, but I
I
guess
mean,
that
like-
seems less creepy.
So yeah, it's
It sounded so just blunt.
But the other way is more sad.
Yeah.
Hey, you got power. You got the power. You can do whatever you want.
Did
You can
you
make
guys-
chicks blow you.
I never watched the show, was it House of Cards that he did?
I didn't either.
But after that all went down, he decided to film a little like 90-second video of him and his character from House of Cards
Yeah.
being like, "You're trying to bring me down." And it's
Yeah.
like who does that?
Crazy people.
Yeah, pretty much.
People that are insane.
power.
People
Sick in the head. Yes.
People who he does not think he did anything wrong to those boys.
Am I still allowed to like Seven and American Beauty and
Yes.
stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, you can, keep the artist
Yes.
separate from the art.
Yes.
Well, at least going forward, I mean, I don't know what I've liked that he's done in 10 years anyways.
I
so.
don't either.
I
liked him in Baby Driver.
I watched.
Did you see Baby Driver?
No, I haven't.
You should.
The last movie I saw him was probably Horrible Bosses.
I never saw Horrible Bosses.
I actually saw that.
But if you haven't seen Baby Driver yet, he's good in it, and the movie itself is really good.
Does he drive a baby with his penis?
No, and it's about escape in a getaway driver.
Man.
I completely missed what you said until a second ago. Watch Baby Driver though.
I was seeing somebody.
John Hamm, Jamie Foxx.
I
Kevin
watched that
Spacey.
House of Cards with first season. I watched with her. She was into it.
It's just Kevin Spacey building a house of cards on a table. In his
It's like a whole
For 6 seasons.
It's like it's a political.
I know.
Yeah, he works for like the president or something.
Well, he eventually becomes a president.
Yeah, but in the first season, he's just like a.
That's pretty realistic, actually. Someone
Yeah,
like
that-
him becoming the president.
And how foreshadowed, man. And
it's
political figures.
it was supposed to be a pretty good show. but
He did a little bit of method acting for that character.
But I don't know. I watched that first season with her, April, that chick I was kind of seeing for a while. I watched it with her. She watched the first couple episodes. Oh, it's great. So then we rewatched them. I watched it with her. But Robin Wright is great.
yes,
Yeah.
She's fantastic in it.
Jenny or Princess.
Yeah,
Buttercup.
yeah. And I mean, I've always liked her anyway, but she, like, to me, that's the only reason I finished watching that first season with her was because of her.
The only reason I finished.
Yeah, that's the
No.
only reason I finished. Well, there's
Jizz.
another chick that's in that, redhead.
She sounds hot.
Yeah, she is hot. Because, like, I think it's Kevin Spacey's kind of banging her on the side. She's like a reporter.
So it's a boy.
No, no, this was all before his boyish scandals.
At least in American Beauty, it was a 17-year-old girl that he liked.
Yeah,
Sometimes
right.
just too easy.
Kate Mara is the actress you're talking about.
Yeah, she's banging hot in that show.
She was in a couple other things. 24. She was in the most recent Fantastic Four.
Well, she's like a reporter or something for like one of the major newspapers in Washington, and but he's banging her on the side, and she's banging hot in it.
She sounds hot.
Yeah, she's hot.
Another movie I just rewatched recently that I haven't seen in probably 15 years was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I've only seen it once, and
Really?
I watched it.
It's pretty well. My aunt told me about they did a show on Netflix.
Has a
about,
hilarious ending.
yeah.
The Indian just running away.
Chief. Hey, Chief.
Sorry, Native American.
They
I'm sorry.
lobotomized him.
Yeah, they lobotomized. But yeah, they made the Netflix Ratchet.
Yeah. We watched the first episode. It's pretty good. I mean, I got too many things on my plate right now, but I'll probably get back and watch the rest of that.
And I haven't seen it yet, and I've never watched any of those shows, but it looks like the same kind of style as like American Horror Story. Which
I've never watched any of those either.
Which she's in, the lady that plays Ratchet.
Sarah Polley?
Yeah.
I know her because she played Marsha Clark in the OJ thing, which was really, really good.
Yep.
The worst part about it is they cast so well except OJ.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have anybody else that could play OJ other than, what's his nuts?
Can't think of his name.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Actually, though, he did a pretty decent job, but it's just, there's a big size difference there, too.
Yeah, big size. And we could have got anybody else. I mean, because they cast out of, like, what I thought would be right, but, like, John Travolta as Shapiro was great.
that was the one I was like, really? But then everybody said it was pretty good.
And Schwimmer was Kardashian, and that worked out good, too.
So perfect.
Yeah.
David Schwimmer.
The wrong Kardashian died.
That's true.
I still love that, like, 30 for 30. That was 10 hours of OJ.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you never watched that? Like, the OJ thing, the 30 for 30 that ESPN did was 10 hours. It was 5 2-hour episodes of that. But when they talk about when they had to, like, black up his house for the jurors, like, that stuff's so funny because he had, and if you go to OJ's house in Brentwood, it was all like him with like white people and him golfing. They were like, the black jury's not going to like this. So they went and put like African masks up on his walls and stuff like that.
Oh, they're making yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you know?
No, we don't. We don't have Amazon packages tonight.
No packages.
That'd be a good porn. Also, Amazon packages. I'll just like rip dudes in the
we'll
jungle with big wieners.
Guys from a tribe.
Maybe Brittany Schmear will be in it.
Brittany Schmear.
Britney Spears and you, Smiths.
The guy from the Amazon has his package in there.
Ew.
One of them dudes
It's a
with
dick in a box.
frog poison dart.
Or that,
one of that tribes.
Or that pee hole snake or whatever that gets
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Fuck that
I
thing.
want that poison dart frog. It's like it secretes a poison so toxic that if you just touch it, you die.
Isn't it like a cool color? Like it's like purple and blue and stuff too.
I think it's bright orange actually.
Still, that's cool color.
But I'm not an amphibian expert. I'm not Alex Jones.
Not a little bit what
gay
you might
frogs.
call a crocophile.
Do you know what the urethra animal is? The one that goes up your pee hole?
Urethra Franklin.
Yeah. Yep.
It's called.
Yep.
What?
Yeah. I heard that. It's real.
See, yeah.
Gotta be careful. Don't get in the
Urethra
water.
Franklin is.
Don't get in the water.
You got to give it RESPECT.
Mask up. Mask up.
Candiro. The Candiro.
Is that what it is?
Yes. It swims up your pee hole.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And then
And it's
spikes.
and what is it? It's like a
It's a parasite.
oh yeah.
Or it's a fish, but it's like it's a parasite.
It's a
So,
fish.
So like
so when comparing the two horribly scary continents, Africa has the scarier like carnivore animals,
Yeah.
but the Amazon has way parasites and fucking little small deadly
Yep.
poison shit. That's
This
Yeah.
the
this,
jungle itself eats you.
This
Yeah.
thing
Go in.
will swim up your urethra, the Candiro,
well then this
and then latch itself on,
Spread.
and then basically it feeds off you.
so then this still goes back to the same theory that Joe Rogan and Bill Burr were talking about when they were talking about like what kind of animal would you want, like to be attacked by if you had to pick like they're like you don't want a bear because a bear will just start eating you while you're alive.
Yes.
And you don't want you don't want critters crawling up you and doing that shit.
Nope.
So you still want like a tiger or a lion or
Kill me right now.
Poison tree frog. It's quick.
What sounds cooler
That's
if
true.
I die?
Yeah.
Frog
cooler
or
would be-
tiger?
Yeah,
A tiger would
I
be cooler.
definitely would. Yeah, definitely.
I'm talking about my pain though. There's no pain level if you seize up and you're dead from the
That's,
poison tree.
that is
That's
true.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
Good
but
point.
You died by a frog.
You also don't want to. It's same thing.
And you don't also want to
mean-
be, but if you get eaten by a tiger, you're crying, "Oh God, help me!"
You don't want to die by velociraptor.
Well,
either.
I think that like they get that throat, man. You're done pretty quick.
I like when someone gets in the tiger pen because they think God told them to, and then they just get nabbed by the throat and they get yanked off into the. It happens about once a year in India.
It's heartwarming.
I always told Janine though, like if I get diagnosed with like some like terminal cancer or something, I'm not letting that kill me. Like I'm going in shark infested waters, or I'm taking the rest of my money and I'm going.
Yeah. What do you got to lose?
I'm going somewhere else to get killed by something else.
I already have my plan.
I'm gonna try to emulate a Greg Louganis dive off the Golden Gate Bridge.
I already know where I'm going. It's
Try
in the
triple Lunding or whatever.
I've already been to this mountain range. I've already been in the area, and I'm gonna go eagle, and I'm gonna fly off that motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm not letting some disease kill me. So I'm gonna let some animals do their work.
Oh yeah, there's tons of them. Yeah, I mean, by the time you guys find me, I'll just be cleaned up bones. It's cool.
Cleaned up bones. Oh, them bones.
Yeah, be just cleaned up bones.
I'm gonna see if you can guillotine choke a grizzly bear if I get cancer.
the vultures will
Try to
pick
see how long you can hang on.
When we went to
That'd
the
be awesome, actually.
we went to the San Diego Zoo last year.
Yeah.
And like there's like the vulture exhibit there, and all of a sudden all these families and like Janine are all hanging around watching
People
like,
on
vultures.
welfare. Okay.
No, and then all of a sudden the zookeepers come in and they just throw white rabbits into the exhibit, and all the moms and kids horrified.
Dude, so awesome.
I mean, somebody wanted to watch a show the other day, and we started watching it, and I got to a certain point, I automatically thought of you. It's a show called Treehouse Masters
Yeah.
with Pete Nelson.
I know all about the Treehouse Masters.
And they're like, we're going to the LA Zoo today, and they want us to build a monkey enclosure for these fucking monkeys. And I was like, okay. And he's like, oh, the monkeys. And he's like so happy
That
about
dude
everything.
loves tree houses.
Dude. And I remember you talked about that before. It's like, no one loves anything more than that man loves
not
tree
at all.
houses. And like, we're
And
watching
it's genuine, right? It's genuine.
He loves trees and tree houses so much. He's like a big kid. But I saw that, and he started like, "Oh, tree houses is great. These fucking monkeys are gonna climb through it.
Had to be
Shit over here.
Had to be a
over
place where he lost his virginity growing up. So just tree house
here." And I was
galore.
like, I'm like, Fortnite loves this guy so much.
It's nice when you. It's weird.
Is there any
'cause-
more dangerous idea though for children than that?
If you see these tree houses, they're
that's
pretty,
like right up there with lawn darts. I'm gonna put my kid way up in a tree.
If you see these tree houses, they're safer than your damn house, my damn house.
You
anybody's
fall off
damn
the
house.
chute, just
At
land on
first,
the
I was
roots.
like, this is just a wholesome guy who loves tree houses. Then you start hearing about like pedophiles, and you start like, this guy's got to be a fucking pedophile. Then all of a sudden you come full circle, like, no, he just really loves
He loves
tree houses. Like, I don't want to fucking put him in that group.
It was the first thing he ever built, and then it was something that he just fell in love with when he was a kid, just building tree houses.
Also, his main dude that helps him build the things looks like Jimmy Howard
With the
overalls on
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah, that dude looks exactly like Jimmy Howard.
he's got some weird looking dude, looks like a fucking leprechaun named Shawnix.
Which we also got like maybe 15 minutes, I guess. But like the Red Wings are doing a full rebuild, and it's getting exciting.
That's on my list. I was going to talk to you, but
Yeah.
I know. Well, he might be, but I know Mike ain't.
Yeah, because they signed a couple like veterans to like some like 1 year deals, like, but they drafted well. I thought.
Eiserman's just trying to put his full stamp on this team really quick, and I like Thomas Greiss a lot from the Islanders.
Yeah.
Like Bobby Ryan's a good signing for like a 1 year.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work out, they're not doing well. You get trade baited.
Well, this
Trade
is
deadline.
this is what he had to do. He had to get some. It'd be really nice to get somebody to eat up one of these big contracts that we still got sitting.
Well,
here,
yeah, and they
Franz or
Franzen's
Johan.
gone. He's off the books.
Eiserman also built,
Franzen is, but Franz Nielsen isn't.
But Franz Nielsen's still on the team.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying try to get somebody to buy up.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
because
think
like
so.
this happened with Vegas when they became a team before the expansion draft. They actually consumed because they had money already. They consumed somebody's contract, but they got like extra picks. Basically, we had to give up picks for them to do it.
That's what I thought. I thought the expansion draft was happening sooner. Is it not till next year?
next year.
Yeah.
For Seattle.
Yeah,
But also Eiserman built that entire team that just won a Stanley Cup.
I know.
yeah, pretty much.
He just wasn't there to be with it.
I mean, like the only like the goalie. Well, it's his goalie too. But I mean, originally when they were doing well, when he first got there, Ben Bishop was the goalie, who was pretty much that was who they were up against. I think.
I like that he got the two guys yesterday, the 1 year deals, and he got them
I
cheaper.
won't make a drop out of that voice crack.
There's no voice crack. I coughed. Shh.
Okay.
They got them on 1 year deals, but less than market value too.
Yeah.
Because Bobby Ryan just won he won an award.
Oh, the perseverance one because he had the substance abuse.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
But he had a heck of a season too.
Yeah.
And could have got another $500,000 on the contract, which isn't much, but he's getting people below market value.
I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people really like Steve Eiserman.
Yeah, apparently. And then a couple of the other signings they made today, it was like depth.
I've never
I
heard
like
that.
it.
Yeah,
They're not making playoffs,
Yeah, I was kind of like,
but they're going to get more than 17 wins.
I listen to sports talk a lot, and I was listening to these idiots calling up, going, "Well, it's about time you did something." They're like, "Well, what are you talking about?"
Yeah.
You know,
There was people
they're
pissed
like,
off.
oh, he's been
you
here. How long ago did he take over? Last year.
It's a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year,
I
moron.
actually didn't want him to come here.
Yeah.
I was super against it because it's eventually, no matter what he does, and he's going to have a long leash. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like a decade.
Yep.
But it's eventually going to go the Joe Dumars route where I'm going to have to say something bad about Steve Eiserman.
That you don't want to say.
And I don't want to have to do that.
Yeah, I don't know because
Unless he leaves on his own accord
and that's,
while the going's good. But why would you have done the Tampa thing, come to Detroit? Like, where else is there to go?
This was. I mean, look, I don't care what anyone says. This was the plan. They encouraged him to go and be a general manager somewhere.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
learn it. And he did it, and he did.
And he did great.
He did it very successfully, and he's coming home. And I don't know that he's gonna. I don't think it. Joe Dumars. The problem with that was that at the end he started doing things way like we had money, so okay, well we got money to spend, so we got to go get two guys who did not deserve even half the fucking contract.
You mean that
they got.
albino?
Charlie Villanueva and Ben Gordon. They give Ben Gordon 5 years and like $70 million. We got lucky. The Bobcat, it was the Bobcats, right? The Charlotte Bobcats at the point. Mm-hmm. We got lucky. We had to give them picks to take
him
Ben Gordon.
I just know at some point it's going to go bad, even if it goes good. Even if we win like 2 Stanley Cups, at some point it's going to go bad, and then we're going to have to say something bad about Eiserman.
Well, yeah,
and
I mean,
I know there was quite a few people online and a little bit on the radio that were like, can't believe they didn't get Torrey Krug and bring him back. Why is that guy going to come here in the prime of his career and not even sniff a Stanley Cup for the next 6 years?
right.
Yeah.
Why would he do that? Just for money? That's not what he's playing
There's
for.
still a
yet.
lot of big name free agents out there.
No, he's doing fine. He's doing exactly what he needs to do.
No, it's kind of crazy. Like the guys like Taylor Hall.
Yeah.
Like I could see him actually signing here because he has nothing to lose. It's a career resurgence for the guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I'm gonna stop it here and,
Yeah.
and say, Mike, is there anything you want to talk about that's not hockey related?
No, I don't care. No, I've been sitting here like my back is absolutely killing me. That's why I've been talking.
I got a message from my wife
you,
that says something about Mike. It's like, what'd she say? Mike looks. You look like you're upset, but I think it's because you're in pain.
That's
no,
what
I hurt my back at work.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I was okay sitting here, but something about this chair. So next week I might sit here. Just like swing that around.
Just
But-
go order that $1,000 chair that you can order online for your home office.
Then I hurt my hips too, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm in pain.
That's old age.
What, yeah, that hurt.
I had
You're
one more.
42.
I had one more thing for you though too.
Yeah.
Are they trying to turn your street into the Tilson Street of this
My
area?
neighbor is, yeah.
Because it's awesome looking.
Did you see my yard yet?
I haven't seen yours, but I when I drive to like
Do you have
Kroger,
something
I
on
cut
your yard?
I cut through Park when I go like to Kroger.
Yeah.
because it's just a straight shot.
That's what I
easy.
do too.
Yeah,
Because I'm on that street.
I saw your wife the other day, like out in the yard, but I was driving fast. I was going 40 down the street, so I didn't say hi.
That's fine. Just don't go 70 like the guy in the orange Charger.
But like I go to Tilson Street every year, and it's fucking awesome. Everybody plays ball.
It's so busy though.
Yeah, it's fun though. It's cool.
It
to
is
see
fun.
stuff. But it looks like your street's trying to do that for this area. And I saw that one creepy like Shogun looking thing on the corner that faces was it Eastland?
Yeah, that's also my neighbor. He put that up in the other guy's yard.
It looks like fucking is it Shokan from Mortal Kombat?
I don't think it is, but
it looks like that though.
it does.
Yeah.
So he wants to get everybody involved. So next door to me, they moved and no one's moved in yet.
Is the church gonna play ball?
No. That's a weird church. You don't want to.
That looks like a church where people hold snakes.
They
I
don't.
was just gonna say they do.
I want to
snake
go. I want to
charming.
go to a snake bite church.
But
They do
so,
snake charming.
because there's nobody in the new. I call it the new
least it's
house
not
because it's the
boring.
newest house on the block. But the new house next door to us is empty
Okay.
because
Oh,
they
okay.
moved and it's been on the market and somebody bought it, but I think it fell through, so no one's moved in yet because he was asking like some insane amount for it, like $210,000 or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to get it. But anyways, so we're going to put something on their yard. Our yard has a graveyard now. He put something on that guy's corner lot. The house between them, he's going to put something on his.
That one dude built a full extension that looks like the cabin from Evil Dead.
It is exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They built
looking.
that.
Yeah, that's
Like-
cool.
The only things he has in front of his house, his name's Matt. He's an awesome guy. We have his cemetery now. But he bought 3 zombies that were cast, and they're made from a guy who actually makes zombies and has done it for like movies and stuff.
Okay.
But he cast them, and they're like $3,000 each or something.
Is it a pet cemetery?
No.
So is there like a big time that would be good to go down that street to see what's
Next
Yes,
Saturday.
Halloween.
Halloween. No, don't go down there fucking Halloween. My street blows on Halloween
Devil's
Why?
Night.
because everybody's down there.
Oh, I mean that's what you want though for
No, you can't
attention.
drive
Do a
down the
fucking
street.
Molotov cocktail.
There was a traffic jam every 5 minutes on my street last year Halloween for 3 hours.
So are more people playing ball at the end of the street that goes more towards Common or not yet?
No, because people suck now, and they will take their kids from house to house in their car instead of making them walk.
yeah.
Halloween was canceled long before COVID on this street. The people on this street suck.
So
We know kids come. No one fucking hands out candy. My street blows.
if you park at your parents and walk over, that'd be better.
My dad's fucking funny because he's so isolated. He has no idea about that's even going on over there. And like he watches my dog. Like when I have to, Jeannie and I both at work. So I'm like, why don't you take the dog for a walk and just go to park? He's like, park. I'm like, it's 2 streets over.
2 streets over?
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I know it's. I'm like, you lived at this house for fucking 40 years. I hope you know where it's at.
So you're on what?
My parents live on Kelly,
Oh,
Across from the library.
right across from the library.
oh, okay. So like by
If you're listening, you know exactly where his parents live
yeah,
now.
doxing your family.
well, my friend's wife lived right there, grew up there.
Oh, he knows.
Yeah,
Frank's sister-in-law,
yeah.
Lisa.
Yep.
I don't know.
All right, boys, we got to
Second
just
from the
about
corner.
end it here
On yours. Yeah.
because you only get 3 hours on the podcast. and
I got
everything.
something to say.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm done.
So it's not a pet cemetery.
It's just a cemetery.
So I can't do the awesome tune by the
All right,
Ramones.
guys.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to us.
Thanks for listening to 97.1.
First time, long time.
First time, long time.
Recorded in the pits of Detroit, Michigan. Your ass is listening